The hell was that?
That's what that was.
That's exactly what that was. What's one song that takes y'all back to a good time in your life? And the reason I even thought this up or even thought of it is bro, I was in here cleaning the other day and my pick came on, which is No Hands,
Ooh.
which is a
Ooh,
perfect song,
that's a good one.
which is a perfect song. That shit came on and I was like, "Oh, ooh, who?" And it made cleaning that much easier, but it just reminded me like this song carried the 2010s. Like this song
Here's
had
the,
the world on his back in the 2010. And anytime it comes up on my Spotify playlist, I never skip it. I don't think I
it's like
can.
it's like the mid 2000s version of In the Club, and then we had No Hands.
Facts. It is a banger, dog. Like I said, you could listen to that almost anywhere. Like that's
Yeah.
one of them songs that when we all get together still, and we just go out, we're chilling or something, and there's music played, like when we went to Bungalow and they were playing
Mhm.
music. If that song comes on, I'm lit. I'm,
It's
ah!
songs that make you go, ooh,
Yeah. Now, with all that
make
said,
you
that
that.
shit better come on before 9:30 or 10, because I might start yawning. And
Oh man, that's. I think Marlon, you might have shut it down for all of us, man. Song that takes me back. I've been stewing over this past couple days since you brought it up. Well, since yesterday.
Well, because your
Man,
ass wanna come up with 8 different songs.
I, what? There's not just one song, bro. I listened to a lot
it
of
was
music.
you right, but it was just one. Like I said, no hands, and that's what I was gonna end on. Now that you opened the door and said a few, I was like, I can name a couple.
Bro, it's like listen, it's like Tennessee whiskey. If we're gonna skip genres, Tennessee whiskey. Every time I hear that, I'm like, you have to sing it every time. But that's my one to start with. I'll let Cameron go, and then we can kind of expand on the thought.
If I had to pick one, uh, uh, sorry, I would probably say my one. Yeah, listen. I have to do two of them because I think they are.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah,
listen,
yeah.
listen.
One song.
One of them, I feel like was created from the other, and then I feel like turned into a bigger banger. But it's still tipping it back then by Mike Jones.
Okay, okay. Still Tipping is a banger, and every time it comes on,
Bro,
I do not skip it
Yeah,
either,
bro.
ever.
you can't.
I just feel like
By I think by
back
law
then
you can't.
had some lines in it that were like, ooh.
Look, I'm a
It
first off. I'm
just
gonna
sucks
say
that it
this.
was,
I'm gonna say this. Paul Wall's verse was
bro.
I. It was I. But
I'm still tipping.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It was like I liked it. I'm not gonna, but I feel like it just kind of slowed everything down, which is perfect for him. But that song came on, look, just boom in your face,
Yeah,
and then obviously Mike Jones verse. He was fofos. I'm tipping wood
bro.
grant like that, and then
That
it's
might be Mike Jones' best verse that he ever
it
made, bro.
man.
Of all time.
Yeah, that's
Look,
It's
easy.
up there.
Slim Thug starts it off. Okay, it
Look,
sets the
six
pace.
six long. Yeah, pause. Yeah,
At all times when I'm flipping, cross like
I like it.
Bro. Song goes hard.
It does.
I
It's a
got it
banger.
made. The
I
big
remember
boss of the
I
north.
remember that song was the reason why we go through Chandler, fucking breaking
Still tipping.
all kinds of
Still
laws in
tipping.
the street, bro.
Oh
We
yeah.
were on Main Street swerving back and forth like they were. We didn't give a shit.
I remember when we
Damn.
left open gym and fucking DJ Bobo started it, and
Yeah,
then
we was all
Periods
doing that
did it,
shit.
and we just. I just
Uh,
the violin in the background. But no, there's. I mean, let's go. My personal one of my personal ones is rich as fuck.
Yeah,
oh, dude,
I can give
yeah,
you that. I was gonna give you a different one besides Rich as Fuck, but I was gonna say Pop That French Montana.
yeah.
Ooh.
Pop that went hard,
Don't
bro.
stop, don't stop, won't you. I was cooking back then. Huh? I was fucking.
Facts. And that's why
And
it takes you back to a good time where you could just relax and not have to worry about
and
bills
that's
like
when
that or
Oklahoma City didn't hate KD, and Drake drops a KD line in there.
Yeah,
So we
everybody went
felt like
fucking
we were a
crazy.
part of it. Yeah, we felt
vindicated,
like we were a part
vindicated.
of it.
And
I'll
then the
give
only
y'all
other one,
one. I'll give y'all one from that era.
yeah.
Uh, Actually, I'll give y'all two. How about "Fucking Problems" by ASAP
I was just
and,
about to say that.
and
Yeah.
"Thrift Shop" by Macklemore? I remember
Thrift
being drunk as fuck, and that's all I remember from that drive home was Isaiah jamming to Macklemore.
It's the only thing that
Bro,
kept me
that
awake,
shit
bro. I was
blaring down
so
the neighborhood.
I
for the
needed to stay awake.
for the followers. Back in the day, Isaiah was very well. He still is, but Isaiah did not partake in alcoholic activities. While
In the festivities.
the rest of the people we hung out with, we were very heavily. And so Isaiah made the perfect dedicated driver. The problem is we were making long ventures across the great state of Oklahoma from one side to the other, and we needed somebody to
Yes.
get us back so that we could continue our halfway adult lives. And Isaiah, it's like 3 a.m. and we're all passed out in the car, and we all wake up because Isaiah has Thrift Shop playing at the highest sound
It
possible. He is,
you know what got me?
I'm
I,
gonna pop some tags.
no, it was the what? I heard that and I was like, I cranked it up a little bit and it was oh, I was like, I was fucking doing that because I needed to stay awake, bro. It's like 4 o'clock in the morning, and we had to wake up by like 11 to leave to go to open gym. So I just needed something to get me going.
That's
Some
crazy. Now,
That's the time.
if you ever have questions of why your body hurts,
Yeah.
that story right
Yes.
there is
Yeah.
why your body hurts. And welcome
Yeah.
welcome and hey, I appreciate everybody for tuning in, giving us a listen. The Red River Rundown. Honestly, I don't remember what episode we are on, but we are live on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and yeah, gentlemen, we ain't talked in a little bit. You dig what I'm
Yeah.
saying? We've been chilling, and since then, shit, everybody's season is over. It's not just Isaiah's season that's over,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Yeah. Fuck y'all.
yeah, and it leads us to a perfect conversation with fuck what's happening in the NFL currently. It's not important right now. We understand what it is, but we can get to that in a sec. There's some NFL vacancies at the head coach position that I think a lot of people, especially Isaiah, uh, he thinks that it's real now. As we've seen the Steelers pivot from Mike Tomlin with him stepping down, and then John Harbaugh being moved and now landing in New York. Which destination do you guys think is the best opening currently? And what do y'all think of? Well, let's start with that. What do y'all think is the best job available currently?
Whew, that's that's a good start. Let's see, what do I have?
Ravens.
I think Baltimore and Atlanta, honestly, because I think Atlanta
Atlanta's not
has.
available anymore. Kevin
Oh,
Stefanski and the Atlanta
oh yeah,
Falcons have
yeah.
agreed
Oh,
as of this morning.
oh, yeah. That's right. My bad. So probably Baltimore. I don't. I can honestly say Baltimore and maybe Vegas, just because it's Vegas. But they got a lot of things to change over. I don't think my team is a destination. I think we're gonna try to hopefully figure out who our next GM is first. That's why
Y'all
I don't
did,
think
didn't you?
it's like,
I'm pretty sure y'all
yeah,
just hired, haven't you? Hold on.
did we?
Continue talking. I'll
But
look it up and
but
then yeah. I'm Jamie
yeah,
in the background right now.
no, but no. I mean, we have the talent. We have the most. We have a lot of potential.
Quickly to
Um,
interrupt, yes, you guys hired John Eric Sullivan, who was a former Green Bay Packers VP of player personnel, as your new GM, which is why people thought that you guys could try to make a trade for LaFleur. But again, my bad. Just
oh no, you're
yeah,
good.
I agree with y'all. I do think Baltimore is the best destination just because of Lamar. There are
We
a
have the
lot
most
more.
set in place already.
Yeah, it's just they have to make the right hire. Whoever they do hire and whoever takes that job is going to be under a microscope. And essentially, your time is running as soon as you start. As to where some of these jobs you get 2, 3 years. And in that Pittsburgh job, you get 10. Now, I'm not saying that Pittsburgh job is sexy because I understand you have to do quite a bit. But I will say, based on the words from Art Rooney II, of my head coach gets to come in and he's hiring his own staff, I think that job becomes a lot more enticing because of that, because you are not hindered with the rest of the organization's handpicked
Hmm.
staff. You are bringing in everything that you want for your system and your scheme, and it should work if you're able to get it all in. And I'm actually excited. But then pivoting off of that, who do y'all think will fill these open roles? And we can start with the Miami Dolphins. Who do you guys think will be the Dolphins head coach next year?
Give me Shula or give me death. He's the only person I want.
Y'all gonna
Pause.
get Brian Flores and you'll like it.
No, Flores will not come back to Miami.
You will get him and you'll like it. Shut your mouth.
Shut your mouth. But no, I honestly I like Shula as a possibility. I know we did interview Stefanski at one point.
Okay,
Um,
I'll give you a name.
but we did. Okay.
Brian Dayball.
I don't like it though. I don't.
I
I don't. I don't.
I I I know you want them to shoot for the generational coach, right? You want him to shoot for the coach that can be Miami's head coach for the next 10 to 15 years.
I think Dable has always shown that he's a great OC and not a good head coach. I think
I mean,
Shula has the potential to be a good head coach.
are
You know
you
what I mean?
I think he does, but are you leaning that way because his last name is Shula?
No, I'm looking at the defense in LA
Num hold on, dog. Hold
with
on.
some talent
Right.
issues. Obviously, they don't. They got a great D line. Linebackers are they play well in the scheme. Corners are
I
kind of no name
So,
guys.
but here's my thing, and I get that they've been playing really well, but like, how good are they? Because I just don't remember the Rams winning games because their defense is that great. I think they're good enough, but I mean, you also have Matt Stafford throwing for 44 touchdowns in a season, and I
He
think.
doesn't do that, Marlon, unless the deep dumps.
Yeah, no. I get what you're saying. Like I know what you're saying, and I think his pedigree is he's one of the candidates that I want the Steelers to bring in, and it's because I think he can change the entire system.
Culture. I think
Because
he has an opportunity to do that.
well,
I don't think.
he's one of these guys. Sorry, but he's one of the defensive guys that you can hire in today's NFL because he
Mhm.
opens the hub to offensive coordinators from the McVay tree. So
Exactly.
I think
Well,
that's big time.
and I like that more. I would rather have a defensive minded head coach with with a good OC that is good enough to at least stay longer than like a year. You know, hire a guy that's kind of from the tree that can kind of build himself up because every OC, no OC wants to stay an OC for forever. I would rather have a guy that we could at least get for a couple of years and actually build the team on. And then if the team's built good enough, maybe he has a head coaching opportunity because that's what any coordinator wants to do.
You're right. Sorry, Cameron. We're in this
You're
rabbit
good.
hole right now.
No,
We're
you're
in
good,
it, and
man.
I'm going to dive more into it.
I'm just waiting for my time.
Okay. I'll
Because
say
I can
this
tell you who
though.
it's going to be.
Which one? It's if you hire a defensive minded head coach. This is the counter argument to that. Sorry, if you hire a defensive minded head coach, are they going to consistently be able to find offensive coordinators for the next 7 years down the road? The reason I bring it up is because we're seeing that with Bill Burr in Buffalo right now, where even though Joe Brady is a good offensive coordinator, they did go from Dayball to him. I also look at organizations like the Buccaneers, where you see as soon as Liam Cohen leaves, there is a drastic drop off. So
Huge
I
fall off.
think you
Yeah.
can do that, but I also think that maybe it could be easier if you're an offensive guy that can find defensive coordinators currently due to the state of the league than it would to do it the opposite way. Because as much as people are fighting against it, and I understand with like Mike McDonald in Seattle, the reason I think Mike McDonald in Seattle is so successful is because he brought Clint Kubiak with him. I think if he brings in fucking Greg Roman with him as an offensive coordinator when he takes that job, he's on the hot seat right now. So I think you can do it, but we still also have to wait to see if Mike McDonald will be able to bring in another offensive coordinator once Clint Kubiak takes one of these jobs. And then I also think that we're going to have to see if he'll be able to develop a quarterback because Sam Darnold, while he's playing very good and they're in the NFC Championship game, he's 28, 29, 30. I mean,
Yeah.
you got 10 years, but you might as well start trying to develop in the background now, again, essentially. But I think it's just a little bit easier to do an offensive mind with a good DC, and then that DC go get a head coaching job, and then you just find another DC like that, than it is vice versa.
I think the biggest thing is culture between
Yes.
organizations as well. Because,
Yeah.
like,
Y'all need it.
Darren Waller fucking gave away all the church's money in his exit interview that he had with Mike McDaniel, and Stephen Ross interrupted it. And he talked about this on Manziel's podcast. He was like, "Yeah, I was having my exit interview with McDaniel. You know, he said he wanted me back. You know, we were going to try to really develop on things." And then Stephen Ross interrupted the exit interview and was like, "Hey, Mike, let me come talk to you for a second." And 30 minutes later, he was fired.
Yeah. It. I
You
think.
can't run an organization that way because they had already told him that they wanted him to stay. They wanted to give him one more year. So I'm not defending my boy. Like, don't get me wrong. There were some things that went wrong, but I think he lived on the Tua Hill and he died on it until it couldn't work anymore. But I'm done talking about my team. Let's give Cameron his opportunity now.
Cam, who's going to be their head coach?
I think it should be Dayball or Joe Brady. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I think Joe Brady
it-
would be good.
I do, bro. I do too. He's been a great coordinator for. I mean, shit. He was a great coordinator. He's been a great coordinator for the Bills, and before that, he was a great offensive mind analyst and quarterback coach for or no, he wasn't. He was a passing game coordinator at LSU when they busted OU's ass.
Mm-hmm.
With the
So
God Squad.
yeah, I mean, I I don't think Buffalo's limitations offensively are because of
Scheme.
game plans or
Yeah.
scheme. Yeah, they don't have weapons.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, the way
Brandon
he
He said they
designs
just don't have anything.
his running game design is so fucking crazy. Like, it's so good. And then, yeah, if they just have some weapons on the perimeter, that would be nice. But anyways, I think it should be one of those. It's going to be Anthony Campanelli from Jacksonville, the DC. He's got
I know
ties to the guy.
interviewed him as well. Yeah.
Mhm.
Ooh,
And what he did with
who-
Jacksonville's defense, man.
I was gonna say, who do you think would be a make sense to be the OC there? Because there's a few potential guys you could take, but I'm curious as to.
I
Because
don't
I know
remember who
Nate Shieldhouse is a big name right now to take an OC job.
the OC at Green Bay. I know they were going after him too because of the ties to the GM.
Oh, the DC. I thought it was a DC.
No, well, it might have been. I don't know.
Yeah,
I know
Jeff,
that
Jeff Haley, I think is his name.
I think so.
yeah, Halfley or
Halfley,
something
yeah,
like that. Okay, I thought it was the OC. I don't know. I mean, because I would say somebody like a Joe Brady or a Clint Kubiak, but who's going to leave those two positions to go down to Miami where there's uncertainty, you know?
Yeah, but
Like Kubiak's got it fucking rolling with Sam Darnold.
he does.
I mean-
I think the pushback there though is because of him. Because of his system. I think he thinks he can make it work with any quarterback. I think that's
Yeah,
one of the
that's probably right.
the dudes who coach with McVay and Shanahan. They all think they can make it work with any coach, or they can at least pull the best out of your quarterback, which essentially lets you build the rest of your team. Because even if your quarterback is a fourth rounder, third rounder, fifth, sixth, you'll be Brock Purdy, Jimmy G, whoever else under them dogs. But
Who
I think they
takes
should.
the-
I think they should go and get. I think they should go and get Chip Kelly.
he's back in college, baby. He's back in college. But who do you guys think will be the Baltimore Ravens' next head coach?
Mike Tomlin.
Isaiah, shut the fuck up.
Mike Tomlin.
He's not coaching in 2026. And if he is, they have to trade and they're not going to
Yeah,
trade
See,
us for
that's
Mike Tomlin.
another interesting
like
situation
thing.
because
Yeah.
I feel like it's the most intriguing job, like the most interesting job because you have Lamar. But at
Yup.
the same time, if you're an up and coming like big time OC, or I mean, do you want to go there and have to deal with that, or do you want to go somewhere where you can start and build something your own? Like if I were Kubiak or Brady, Oakland, not Oakland. Oof.
Vegas.
Vegas would
Vegas.
be intriguing because you don't I mean you have Ashton Genty and you have tight end Brock Bowers. Other than that, you're building that
And no
offense for
quarterback. Yeah.
yeah.
It
So you don't have to deal with like,
They're
you
probably
have
gonna
to
get
do this
somebody in
with
the
Lamar and you
draft.
have to do that with Lamar. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying?
I think it just depends how involved the GM in Baltimore really is, which I didn't really feel like they were. I feel like Harbaugh got to
No.
do pretty much whatever he wanted, and
Yeah.
that's after a while the 2010s greatest hits kind of runs its course. But honestly, I think Clint Kubiak would be. I think Clint Kubiak should at least look at the Baltimore job first
Yeah.
because of that. Of it's a stable organization. It does not come available very often. They are
No.
one of the most prominent names in football since 2000. They have a rich history, and you have a lot of big time pieces in place. You just need a few more things. You need an outside weapon that you can pair with Zay Flowers, and you can win almost immediately because you do have Lamar and Derrick Henry. You just
Yeah.
need a couple of things like that.
Stop signing old ass vet receivers.
Yes, bring in a like target one in the draft, and I think Clint Kubiak's name may have the GM say, let's go offense and kind of even though we've usually been very defensive minded, let's go offense and see if we can continue to like our rich history
Yeah.
of defense through the coordinators and let the head coach worry about the system with an already talented Lamar Jackson because we've seen it with others in his draft class who got with the McVay or a Shanahan guy play better. Baker,
Mm.
Sam Darnold,
Hmm.
Yeah.
right? Can that also work with Lamar? If you get him with one of those guys, can he still get better? And if he can, dog,
That's scary.
dog.
Maybe they can actually play in the Super Bowl if he gets really really good. He's already
So
really good.
yeah, so I'd say Clint Kubiak would be the first one, but also Chris Shula. It would make sense too. Historic last name, since 2000, one of the best organizations. Maybe you want to be a part of making them the best organization uh, in football. I don't know.
Oh,
Intriguing, at
the
least.
the last two that I have are Arizona and Tennessee. Who's going to be willing to take on Cam Ward as a project with that organization?
Brian Dayball.
I
I
can see that
honestly,
actually kind
I
of.
think Brian Dayball because I think Brian Dayball did, even though people don't see it, I think Brian Dayball was able to lay a foundation in New York that it's going to be good for their next head coach, which is going to be Harbaugh. I think he laid
Yes.
that foundation. He just wasn't able to reap the benefits of that success, similar to Mark Jackson in Golden State. He was able to
Yeah.
build the foundation, and then Steve Kerr came in, fresh voice, new schemes, new system, and it helped elevate them. I think that could be something in New York, but I think he laid the foundation, and that's what Tennessee needs right now is a
Yeah.
foundation.
Bec- because their defense is actually like not bad, man. They just could not get the fucking ball in the end zone. Jesus Christ. Like if you look at all their games, you're like, man, Cam Ward's making the throws. Man, they're getting into field goal range. And then they would lose like 10 to 13, 10 to 17, 17 to 24. You're like, damn, man, like I just never understood. Like he looked like he was making on time throws. I
He
think
was,
Pollard still ran for 1,000, I think, or close to it.
yeah.
But if you look at the receivers, I don't think they had a receiver sniff 750 yards.
Well, they
Well,
can't
because
catch the fucking
they
ball.
don't have good receivers, and that's I think Dave Ball can bring in or at least find some kind of
Target one in
talent.
the
Yeah.
draft. Yeah.
Yeah.
Something.
And
Fuck.
they have their quarterback. They can start targeting other things. It's one of those places that you're like, maybe I don't think this is a job for a first time head coach.
I don't
No.
That's what I would
No
say.
way.
I don't
Yeah.
Hell
like
no.
the
I don't think Miami's is
I don't
either.
know. I don't like the Tennessee situation anyways. I don't I feel like Cam Ward has an ego issue, like an attitude. Like I don't feel like I see him like when I watch Josh Allen play. Josh Allen sells out, man. Same thing with like a couple times last night, yesterday watching the Broncos game. Bo Nix sells out to try and win games. I don't
Yeah,
ever
broke
see
broke his foot doing it. Yeah,
I don't ever see Cam Ward really. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like he looks too cute. Does that make sense?
Pause. Yeah, and I get what you're saying, but it is different whenever you're getting your shit pushed in week in and week out versus being
I think if they if
6-7.
they do better with building their offensive line, because the games that I watched him play, his on time throws where he has a good shell in the pocket, it's a very timing predicated from the things that I saw. He's trying to make reads. If his first read's not there, he's going through his progressions. But the time he goes to here, motherfuckers coming like he's already feeling rushed, and that's when he's got to scramble out. Like, and I think there's going to be a lot of comparisons between him and Shadur just because came in the same year. One guy was the number one pick, the other guy was the fifth rounder. But they gave Cam Ward the keys to the city on the first day, which is there's going to be some growing pains, just like with
Well,
Shadur.
well either way with that. I think Cam Ward is more. He's more. It's just it's hard to go from Miami where you actually have a chance at winning a national championship and then just going to a place and it's just horrible.
Yeah,
And that's the growth and maturity that he's gonna have to show to be able to
yeah.
get to the next level of being an NFL quarterback. And can he do it? Can he not? We'll see. I
What does
think
I have a
Arizona
question
need
for
to do?
y'all.
Oh, go ahead.
Do, if you're a Clint Kubiak,
yeah.
and I think about this when you're like a top pick in the draft potentially. Are you eager to just jump on a job as soon as you get an offer, like just to get your foot in the door as a head coach, even if it's a because I look at all these jobs this year and I'm just not. I mean, there's not a lot that scream at me, oh my God, this is what a great situation. But like I think about like next year because I don't think Cincinnati's going to do shit again. Would
And
you
the
take a
Cincy job.
flyer? Would you take a flyer and wait on a situation like Cincy to open up? Because I think about like Cincy's probably going to go offensive coordinator because of all the weapons they have on that offense. Who wouldn't want to go to that?
I agree, but I also think that you as a situation, if I want to take control and control it like a Madden, yes, Cincy would be perfect. But whenever you have to deal with the GM who pays
Yeah,
80% of your salary to three people, it's
yeah.
hard to
I mean
build
that's
that.
true.
I
Yeah,
personally for Cincy next year, I would go defensive minded guy for them because their offense
yeah,
they're fine. I think with
yeah,
the talent they have, they can get by with offensive coordinators and a defensive minded culture, and I think they would be fine. I truly think Cincy though will be fine next year because the AFC North will have three brand new head coaches. So they kind of have the leverage because everybody else is putting in a brand new system. So maybe
yeah.
they're not truly a threat, but I think they may represent the AFC North next year.
I can't
Um,
wait to watch
but
Stefanski absolutely fucking destroy Atlanta next year.
but
Like over
you're
the next
you're
5 years,
you're
bro.
right, you're right. But who did we
Well,
say
they're
in
probably
Arizona?
gonna. Oh, in Arizona,
Yeah,
I was just wondering y'all's thoughts on who could because on the offensive side of the ball, they
I
have
they're blowing it
pieces.
up though.
They have potential. I mean, I know with Calamari probably leaving, but you got McBride. James Conner is going to be back. I know he's getting older. Offensive line isn't. They need to shore up the offensive line, but you have a potential, you know, first round pick that could actually maybe pan out. Michael Wilson was playing really good towards the end of the season. Like, you got to do better on defense, but who would be even
Here,
enticed to take that
here's
job?
my only problem with it at Atlanta or with Arizona. They're obviously moving on from Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
What other quarterbacks are in the free agent pool or are available at this moment?
Will Levis, Malik Willis,
Yeah, Malik Willis is
Yeah,
probably the most
and
enticing free
honestly,
agent
what
in the quarterback
yeah.
I
position.
think we're thinking too far into it. I think they're just going to roll it back with Jacoby Brissett and wait to draft in 27. And
That's
whoever,
why I was asking
Yeah.
is because like I don't know why they just don't go interim.
because
and hire.
I think it depends because if you want an offensive guy, if like, it just depends what they want. If they want, they just fired a
Yeah.
defensive minded guy. If they want an offensive minded guy to shore up their offense going into the future because they know they have to
Yeah,
be able to put
yeah.
up points, then
Yeah.
do you think anybody next year could be better than Clint Kubiak? If that's the case, then you can wait. If there's not, you take Clint Kubiak. If you want a Chris Shula and you think you can get a Chris Shula and nobody else is gonna, then you take a Chris Shula. It would be crazy
Yeah.
being in that division.
Hey,
That's crazy.
uh,
I
what
don't think he
happened
would take
to
that job.
what the hell happened to Byron Leftwich? He was
He
getting
was
buzzed like 3 or 4 years ago, like crazy, and then I haven't heard about him in
he
like
last I
2
heard
years.
he was in Tampa's. He was an advisor for Tampa Bay or
Yeah.
something like that.
Because he was the OC, wasn't he? And then he
Yeah,
Yeah,
stepped down.
yeah,
and
he
he
was
was
And
getting
William got the
crazy. He
job.
was
he
getting
he
yeah.
was getting jobs, and then I think they down the stretch of one of his years, the Tampa offense looked horrible, and then he stopped getting
Yeah.
buzz.
I was gonna
I
say
mean,
he was
really, it
because
was
he
right
was
after Arians left, and he was the
Yes,
OC
Arians got
under Morris.
Arians got forced out, and then they did. But on back on what
sorry,
the
my bad.
last job is Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Give me Chris Shula. Give me Nate Shieldhouse. Give me Clint Kubiak. Give me Clay Kubiak. Those are the
Get.
only names that I think they should look at. The Steelers
How
do
long do
not
you think that they'll take to actually make this decision?
3 to 4 weeks. He said Art Rooney said that he wants to have a coach before the combine. This is important, and the
It's
reason that
ideal, yeah.
I don't have the Steelers over Baltimore as the most like the best available job. But the reason I have it at two, for one, I'm biased as hell. For two,
Good
um,
organization.
well, you get the key. They're giving you the keys. Like I was
Yeah,
telling Isaiah before you jumped in, Cam. They're hiring Art Rooney II told all of the staff, "Hey, bud, unless the new head coach keeps you, you will not be retained. So you're a head coach that gets to go into an organization where you're probably, if your everything pans out, you're going to keep your job for 15 to 20 years. You have no excuse because you can bring in whatever you want and you're a historic organization. Like you literally get a blank canvas with the best paint and you get to throw shit on it until it creates something.
Yeah.
It's
bro.
it's not enticing maybe immediately. And the reason I want him to stay away from like Flores or a retread coach like that or just a straight defensive mind is because it would just be like running it back with Mike Tomlin. They'll look better next year, but I don't think they'll get to a ceiling of truly competing. I think Mike Tomlin, as a defensive minded head coach, I don't know which defensive minded head coaches that I would really want over Mike T. It's all about can you diagnose offense. The Steelers were not losing playoff games 7 in a row because their defense isn't good. And I'll even say, even though their defense got shredded in 2017 by Jacksonville, I still don't think that they lost that game because their defense was just ass.
They
Ben
lost.
turns the fucking ball over too much, dog. So you're losing because your offense is not showing up in the biggest moments. And I think you have to find a quarterback. If you don't, you're going to continue to look for a quarterback. What's the easiest route to finding quarterbacks consistently?
With the blank canvas thing,
With an
who
offensive mind who can come in and put their entire system in. Your offensive line coach, your receiver coach, your quarterbacks coach, your pass game coordinator. You can bring in whatever the fuck you want. If you want to give Lincoln Riley a call and say, "Hey, bud, you tired of USC and you want to come be an offensive coordinator under me, so now you can get head coaching opportunities in the future?" Come on.
Mike McDaniel, baby, let's go.
I think Mike McDaniel may get some more quarterback.
You
No,
know,
honestly, I
Marlon,
think I could see him going to Tennessee.
I
uh,
can't. I don't think. I think he wants to be. I think he wants to win. I think he may go be the OC in like Detroit or Philly.
I like. I get what you're saying about the offensive mind, and maybe it's time they transition to an offensive minded head coach. But I think one of the biggest things about Pittsburgh over the course of all these years is whatever head coach they've had has always like built. um, an environment, like a winning culture. It's the culture has always been correct, and it takes a coach of high character, right? So Mike McDaniel was a good offensive play caller. I didn't really feel like Miami's culture was that of winning. Like there was a lot of egos. I don't feel like Mike McDaniels was. He doesn't give me the vibe that he checks players when they start being dumb or saying dumbass shit. You know. But the reason I bring that up is because there's a coach out there who is defensive minded, who was the head coach of Atlanta when they blew the lead. But what he does really well, besides building a culture, is he finds really good offensive coordinators. I mean, he's the one that found Shanahan and McVay and McDaniel to begin with. You know what I'm saying? Like he put that whole coaching uh,
Yeah,
team together.
kind of, because they were all on staff before they went there in Washington under
Cleveland.
Mike. Yeah, in Cleveland after that. But they got there, and yes, Dan Quinn did. He was able to find them, but it was more a, hey, we're all trying to be head coaches, and we're just using this as a chance. But I
Well,
do
with
think
with
I think Quinn
with
does find good OCs, and you have to be able to
Yeah,
do that
I
if you're
just
a defensive minded guy.
that was going to lead into a question: is if you're already a head coach at somewhere like Washington, who's not necessarily a great organization, or if you're a coach down in New Orleans, or you know what I'm saying? Would you leave a job like that to go to if you're offered a job like Pittsburgh, where you have all of that control and that stability and the backing of the organization?
I would, fuck yeah,
So it's fuck what I would
yeah, but
too. If I was
but I
Liam Cohen, I'd get the
fuck.
fuck out of Jacksonville,
yeah,
bro, and I'd go
but
straight if I got
the
that job.
it's just the Steelers, I think, because of that history, though. They want fresh guys, is the thing. They want them to carry over. Now, Liam Cohen would have been a perfect name, but they decided to keep Mike Tomlin for an extra year. Um, it's I think the Steelers are at a point now to where they have to modernize and understand that the way that they ran the organization the last 10 years isn't going to work. And to
Yeah.
get to where they need to or they want to truly compete, I think they have to go offensive minded if they want their head coach to last 15 to 20 years. Because what we're seeing now is defensive minded guys getting into organizations, being able to find a true offensive coordinator who can help build an offense, that offensive coordinator leave, and then that defensive coordinator not be able to replicate that success on offense, which leads to their offense just fading and fading and fading until the organization gets tired, and then they bring in another defensive minded guy that can go track talent down early in his career, offensive wise, and then they can't later. If you just replace it offensive wise, I think you can. And I also, sorry to take this much time up, but I think based on the organization should be based what like the culture is what you go. If you need a foundation to start building, I think defensive minded makes perfect sense because they're going to instill in the organization what you truly need to be great, which is a toughness. And they're going to help build the trenches on both sides. So offensive line, defensive line, linebacker play, that. I
Yeah.
think once you want to consistently compete after you have a foundation in place, it's easier. And I do think, even though y'all have been ass at times, I think the reason it worked with Jacksonville is because even going back to the AFC Central days, Jacksonville's culture is always built on a toughness.
Yeah.
And Liam Cohen coming in, he is an offensive minded guy who also has a chip on his shoulder, and it's just
Yeah. What are y'all doing at quarterback this year?
the
Y'all going
same
with it
shit.
with Rodgers one more
Well,
year and then looking for a
I
quarterback, or
just read something this morning from Schefter that said that there's still feelers out there, but I do think that it depends on who the head coach is. Now, what I think is going to happen is that they're going to hire Shula. They'll hire, yeah, I think they're going to hire Shula if we're being honest, unless he goes with Miami. But I think they're going
I
to hire Shula.
I think
Or
it really hinges on just my opinion. I think it hinges on the the quarterback that you get really depends on how Arthur Smith is going to fucking call the offense because
Arthur Smith is gone, Bucko,
oh, did he get fired?
unless the new head coach brings him back,
which
there's
which
no
he's not.
staff. Yes, that's what I'm
Because if the
saying.
outside of fucking Tomlin, his ass was getting fried the
That's yeah,
most because their
facts.
offense was a
Yeah,
joke.
The reason this
that's what
in
I'm saying.
well
I
the
think that's
reason
what it hinges on a
but
lot.
the reason, in my opinion, that you go with an offensive minded guy is because then you'll bring in a good OC too. If you bring in a defensive guy, there like if you bring in Flores, does he appeal? If you're an offensive minded guy, does Brian Flores appeal you to want to go call an offense for? Or do you look at it and say, it's a little bit too conservative, it's a little bit too boring. I'm not going to get the
Yeah,
praise that I need to be able to go be a head coach. No. So you're going to
yeah,
stay away from that and say, where's Chris Shula at? I'll go coach for him. And then I'll get a job as a head coach. And then even if it doesn't work out, I'll just go back and work for Kyle or Sean, and then
yeah.
I'll get another
Easy.
head coaching job. So
Just give
that's
me a minute.
I think just the way that the coaching dynamic in the league is currently working, it just makes more sense going offense to defense. And there's a large
Yeah.
belief that because of the history of the league being defensive minded first, you have to continue to do that. You guys
Hey,
realize the last defensive minded head coach to win a Super Bowl was Bill Belichick. And even if you go back to the other defensive minded guys that were winning at the end of Belichick in New England, it was still other offensive minded guys. It wasn't like
Yeah.
it was just defensive minded guys were just running through the league. That shit hasn't worked since the 2010s, the early 2010s. We're slanging and banging, baby.
I just think it's important because the league as a whole, like the way it's officiated, the way the guys have to play, it's catered to offense. So you need
Yeah.
to transition to an offensive themed
Yeah.
like organization, if that makes sense.
Let me get off my soapbox so we can move. But what you just said is so important that I think people need to focus on that, dog. Like the rules. It's the rules is the rules, as Pat McAfee would say. Why would you not take advantage of where the rules are? Why would you continue to say like, ah, we're not going to focus on it, even though that gives us an advantage because of the rules? We're going to try to do it the hard way, and because we want to. But brother, if you really want to win, this is playing to the rules is going to help. It's like trying to play basketball and not shoot threes anymore. They're going to get you out of there because even if you don't think it's a good shot, that is where the league is right now.
Closing statement.
Anyways, it's frying me because I'm telling y'all, I know what's gonna happen. The Steelers are gonna hire they're gonna hire like Brian Flores or something, and it's gonna be like 3 or 4 more years of fucking Mike Tomlin, and people are gonna be crashing out. And I'm telling, I can't do this shit no more, dog. Like I can't do that shit no more. Them and the Lakers are buns, bro. I've been watching fucking hockey because I'm like, bro, this is interesting to me, and I have no emotional tie to any of these dogs. So if they lose, who cares? I'm tired of watching my teams get just blown out in the first round. Just give me false confidence. Make me believe that you're gonna do something. That's all I want.
Damn right. Um,
For this guy.
is there anything that you guys would like to
Damn, I didn't
elaborate on?
realize the Lakers fell off like that.
Brother, I don't
They
want to
were
talk.
they were the
No,
they were
stop
the
this.
2 seed for all
Fuck that.
season until now.
Nah, fuck that. Look,
I had to look it up because
their cheeks.
that was
What?
a mid crash out.
Yeah, brother. What do y'all think of John Harbaugh in New York, though? John
I
Harbaugh
didn't
in New
really.
York and Stefanski in Atlanta.
I think Stefanski's
Uh,
gonna go down there and set Atlanta on fire, and I think
Bijan's the number one pick next
Harbaugh.
year.
I think Harbaugh is.
yeah, he's gonna be.
I think Harbaugh's it's a solid hire, but it just doesn't move the needle for me personally. I don't really feel like you. I don't know. I don't feel like you get a lot out of that hire because he's not going to
Well,
be able to do whatever the fuck he wants in New York as much as they think he will. He's not because that's what New York is. The media, like the patience level that he had in Baltimore, you know what I'm saying? Like the stability is not going to be there. So he's not going to have a lot of time to do the things that that he would want to do.
No, I
Who's
think
his
right now
staff?
he has to. Yeah, that's the biggest thing. Who's going to be the OC? Because Kafka's probably. I don't know if he's going to let go of Kafka, but Kafka's still on staff. They didn't let him go, even though he was the interim. So does he keep Kafka? I think he is set up right now with the talent that he has on the defensive side of the ball to be successful, and the potential on offense is there. I don't think it's great. I
Yeah,
don't think Scatterboo was just like this fucking
I
otherworldly
think
running
it's
back.
fun.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah,
It's you get excited to watch them play because they're all young and they're all fiery and they all want to win,
yeah.
which is a good thing to have to establish a good culture, especially in New York. When New York was winning Super Bowls, nobody was expecting it. Like Eli went on those runs to get those Super Bowl rings, and nobody had them beating the Patriots in the Super Bowl.
Well, they were
It's
wild card teams who snuck in both
Yeah, that's
times.
what I'm saying. It
Yeah.
was completely unexpected. So I think you have some excitement, and with that media already,
I
be
if you
realistic. Don't set your expectations too high. I think that they can maybe have the potential of winning 8 to 9 games. That's just
I think New York is a destination spot for young offensive coordinators that want
Yeah.
to be offensive coordinators, or someone like Mike McDaniel who doesn't like any of these openings that he's going to be able to get for the head coach and needs a spot to land at. Maybe
yeah.
you look at Jackson Dart and Malik Neighbors and Scattaboo and a couple of pieces and say, I think I can go make that work.
Yeah,
Maybe the ceiling isn't a Super Bowl, but I think I can make Jackson
I
Dart
could
throw 30
I could do some
touchdowns
shit.
and 11 interceptions and move around a little bit. He got the shit out of Tua. Like, why can't he?
Mm.
So I think for Mike McDaniel, that makes perfect sense to be able to rebound there and then go get another head coaching job elsewhere.
Yeah.
But it
In Atlanta, I think the biggest problem with Atlanta is you still got Kirk. Michael Penix could be healthy at the start of training camp. I'm not. They're gonna start Penix. They're gonna have to because he is the future. However, Michael Penix is gonna be 26 at the start of next season. So
27, I thought
his
26,
oh
27,
yeah.
something like that.
So his ceiling is already getting to the point of,
Do
hey
you think
man,
about moving on?
you know what I mean? Because he's I mean he they gave him they gave him the chance this year. He started out decent. You saw the potential, like you said, it was fun. Whenever he came in for Kirk at the end of the season in 24, he was pushing the ball down the field. It looked fun. You're like, oh damn, they could have you like, hold on now. Maybe we have something to look forward to. Start out the season kind of shaky, but it was still there. And then it just fucking crashed and burned.
Yeah.
They couldn't
Very
stay healthy. I think Stefanski he he can call a decent game on offense.
Bijan is
He
about to run for 2,400 yards, bro. His
well,
running schemes is
I'm looking.
amazing.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like he got that out of Nick Chubb. He got that. You know,
Bijan is they're changing the offense. I honestly think Kevin Stefanski he's a better version of Arthur Smith for him. Their offense isn't going to be crazy, but I think Bijan will. I
yeah,
think that it pushes Atlanta back to winning the Super Bowl? Maybe. I think if we see them pull a wide receiver out of this draft and match him with Drake London, who knows? Kyle Pitts
well,
started looking better, and I know they need to find a quarterback. I
yeah,
think they have serviceable quarterback play to at least make a
yeah. I
push.
think so
Make a
too.
push.
I
And
I
especially if
think
the 27 class is what there's everybody is now
do they
saying.
simplify it a little bit more because Zach Robinson was the king of motions
Do they
because
simplify it for who?
like Penix.
No.
Well, I'm saying in the sense of like, all right, so one of the things that Kirk Cousins talks about is when he first got to Atlanta and
No,
they were installing the offense.
I get you. But that style of offense is last era. That's
That's true.
yeah, you not running concepts from fucking 2015 and thinking it's gonna work, Kirko. Like that shit that they're all over it. That's the whole reason the offensive coordinators change what they do is because the defense changed to adapt to them. So they're just
Yeah,
changing with the times. That's Kirk's fault. I don't
yeah,
like fucking motion. Cool, bud. Well, get ready to throw a lot of interceptions and
yeah.
get ready to
Have
say,
fun.
yeah,
Get your boxing. Get your ass on the
yeah. That's
bitch.
I mean, brother, if Aaron Rodgers can be moved out of Green Bay because he doesn't like the motion, and LaFleur's like, I don't give a fuck. Kirk Cousins can be, yeah, but if you don't want to run the motion there and get you up out of the league, so. But
I'm so negative on that hire because if you look at Stefanski's entire tenure in Cleveland, there's no personnel. Um, his personnel management is horrendous. It's constant drama. It's constant like discord the entire time he's in Cleveland. Like he has something going, and then he does something stupid or makes a bad sign, or it's just I don't
let me
feel like his personnel, you know what I'm saying,
what
management is
let
very
me
good.
let me ask you this: how much power do you think he had in Cleveland, or do you think it was him
I
or the GM? Because
I
those
think it
same,
was both.
yeah, I agree, but I think the GM and the ownership in Cleveland is more of a it essentially you could look at Stefanski as Baker of like how much was it really on Baker? That
Yeah.
I think that's what makes it a
I
it's an interesting
When I
hire.
look at all of those decisions that had all that drama, I think to me, this is how I envision these conversations happen from the GM to Stefanski. GM probably got a call, said, "Oh, hey, this person's available." And he probably went down to Stefanski and he was like, "Hey, XYZ is available." And he's like, "Oh, yeah, that guy's really good." Without taking into consideration how they fit in an offense. Are they going to be happy here? What's the target volume going to look like? Um, what is the perception of the organization going to be on the outside? Like there's just a lot of just bullshit that happened. And I just don't feel like his management of his organizational management was very good. And I
And
feel
that's
like that's
going
what
from Odell to Massage Watson to
I mean,
drafting Dylan Gabriel and Shador
Shador,
See,
to
and then you
I
bring in fucking what's his nuts from Kareem Hunt, and
well, Kareem Hunt
oh, that worked
fit
out.
well.
yeah,
Yeah,
but
Kareem Hunt deserved a chance, I
I
think.
agree, but again, it's just hard to put a lot of blame on him because Cleveland has just that's them. They
yeah.
just
Yeah,
can't get out of their own way. So and
it's
it's
just
not
how
like
they're ran.
yeah, I was gonna say it's not like Stefanski being gone is gonna change that for Cleveland. Like they're getting in their own way. So I think Stefanski's a lot like we're gonna find out how much of that was truly on Stefanski versus how much of it was truly on Cleveland with the
Yeah.
management of the roster. I think I mean I Cleveland's just fucking blows, bro. I don't know if he
Yeah.
Cleveland
was
just
the
fucking
I don't know if he
sucks.
was the one that put the final approval on the Deshaun Watson thing. I don't
He's
I
like, yeah,
just
we can make it work.
yeah, I'm sure I just don't know because I know he does it. He's a head coach. He's not the GM. He's
Yeah.
not the owner. So how
Yeah,
much
what's his cap hit
well
this
and
year?
he's not a Mike Tomlin. He's not a Harbaugh. He's not a Pete Carroll. So he doesn't have that resume, especially when
Yeah.
some of those decisions were being made. So I just don't know how much input they truly gave him from that level. But we'll
Um.
see because I think Atlanta has been able to bring in some talent. We'll see if
Yes.
he's and you have fucking Bijan dog. You have Bijan. Like you should be fine. I think Stefanski wants to be able to run the ball. He is, like I said, a better version of Arthur Smith, and I think he'll make the game easy for Michael Penix. And they have enough.
Hey, I have one last question off these possible new head coaches. Why does Todd Monken not get any? Why is there no smoke around Monken? I mean, he turned fucking Lamar. You know what I'm saying? He turned that into one of the best offenses in the whole league and turned Lamar into was a two-time MVP?
Yeah, he's a two timer.
And before that, he was great at Ohio State, I believe. And before that, Oklahoma State.
Um,
Because I think he was the coordinator at Oklahoma State when Mason Rudolph was there, and they were frying everybody not named OU.
I don't know why he doesn't.
I was wondering
Well,
that when we were sitting here. I was like, man,
he'll be 60 next month. That's why.
sounds like he needs to go to Pittsburgh.
No, no.
Get
Sounds
him
like the perfect age to
Go
start his
ahead, go to
career as a
Miami.
head
Go
coach.
ahead. His name may even get a couple of interviews just because.
Yeah,
I
they
mean,
just
why
haven't
not,
really
right?
talked about it.
I mean, I think Baltimore and New York moving as fast as they did, I think that now slows everything down. I also think because Seattle keeps winning, I think that slows it down because I think Clint Kubiak is doing virtual interviews, but I don't think you get that same interview that you want whenever it's virtual over having them in house and being able to
Yeah,
see how they act in the organization.
now
So
Saleh could do in person interviews
yeah,
because
and
they just got fucking
I think his name is
baptized last night.
yeah, I think his name is going to take off too, and that's another name that I think would be fine in Miami as well. But he
Yeah,
could end up in. He's a name that's going to pop up for Pittsburgh too because he fits the narrative. What has Pittsburgh continuously done? Defensive guys. So
yeah.
every
Yeah.
defensive guy is going to be linked to Pittsburgh, and I think that's what's pushing me away from it. Is just like we just saw this in Pittsburgh where they had a chance to hire an OC, a fresh OC, the first time in forever that they hired external from the organization, and they landed on Arthur Smith. They had a chance to get or interview Zach Robinson and Clint Kubiak before they went to their destinations. They didn't even really interview him. They interviewed Arthur Smith, brought him right back in, and was like, "Hey, bud, we really like your concepts. We saw how you failed miserably in Atlanta, but we like it." Like that's they're not gonna learn from that shit. They're gonna keep doing it, and just like that, I'll be like, I don't think the hire is gonna turn out. We're gonna ram our head into the wall for 3 years, and then 3 years, my beard's gonna be grayer than it already is.
We got you a spot down here at Texas Westland. Um, so I was going to pose one question, and hopefully we can make it quick. I asked Marlon this before you joined, Cameron. It'll have a perfect pivot going into the NBA talk. Last topic for the NFL. Who is the NBA equivalent of Josh Allen?
Hmm. Uh, that's a good ass question. Um, somebody that is a star who can carry his team, but can't get past the conference finals. Um,
I wouldn't even say the conference finals. I'm
The
just
first, the
making
first,
to
I
the
would
dance.
probably the first person that comes to mind for me is probably Booker, Devin Booker.
Well, this is just
Maybe.
any NBA player. You don't. It doesn't have to be current. Let's just.
Oh, Charles Barkley, Dame
Ooh.
Dame Lillard.
Ooh.
the first two names I said was Russ and James Harden.
Oh yeah,
because
Russ, bro.
because the truth that Josh Allen is amazing. He really is.
Yeah,
But
The level of stardom.
he
Yeah.
just has like he has a couple of games in the playoffs where he played so freaking great. He gave the team every opportunity to win,
Everything.
and then somebody was just more special to beat him. And it's like he kind of gets blamed for that, but you really can't give him blame for that. But then he also has some games like he did
Like
yesterday
last
where
night.
it's
He turned the
like,
ball over 5
hey,
times.
yeah, even though James Cook had a fumble, dog, you gave up points right before half just being careless with the ball. Then you're throwing punts, and then you can't turn the ball over and not have some kind of blame, even though you still are amazing. And the only reason the team was there was because of how good you are. Harden and Russ fit that. Dame
bro.
fits that.
Well, no,
Like,
I wouldn't even say. I wouldn't even say him because he's never healthy. I was thinking Joel Embiid, but Joel Embiid is never healthy.
yeah. Um.
Harden's a good one, man, because there's been a
Yeah.
couple of times that he like in the Western Conference Finals, he was a fucking star. And if Chris Paul don't get hurt,
Yep.
Houston's going to the
Yeah,
finals.
Yeah.
yeah.
And
You
then
look
Like
at
that sucks
those
for him.
teams.
yes,
Yeah.
and then
Never
you
been.
also
That's the thing.
and
They've
then
never been.
and I think it's crazy to see the comparison too because like that was the year where it was like it's supposed to be this year. They don't get
Mhm.
it done, and then since then, James is still a solid figure in the league, but he's not what he was, and it's
Yeah.
like the same Josh Allen trip of hey, the only reason that he hasn't won is because this Super Golden State team.
Kansas City.
Yeah, and his is Kansas City, and it's like, nah, but it's over
They're
with
out
now.
the way.
Yeah.
It's just Denver,
And
whose offense at times is like
hey,
very shaky.
nah, fuck all that. Shout out to the next era of quarterback. Shout out to the Trevor Lawrences, the Drake Mays, the
That's right,
Jay
baby.
Daniels, the Caleb Williams, the Jordan Loves, the CJ Strouds. Those dudes are running the league this year. It is a glimpse in the not too distant future. You can throw Mahomes' name in there. I think he'll be competitive. But gentlemen, we are in the next era. This is the Ben Roethlisberger, Philip Rivers, Eli Manning, Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees as Tom Brady and Peyton were still very much at the top of the league, but you could see those young dogs could keep their team
Yeah.
on verge,
Yeah.
and on any given day they could beat one of those two. That's where the league is right now, and I love it. I just hate that the Steelers don't have one of those young guys that can at least compete.
But that was my last question, and pivoting into the NBA the way that I wanted us to.
Does the
OKC.
Thunder have the Spurs figured out finally?
Maybe.
I don't think anybody truly will ever have Wemby figured out, but I do think the Thunder. It's hard to say this when you're 1-3, but I do think like the difference between that one and the other three was the Thunder came out and played playoff style basketball. They beat the shit out of Wemby all game. They kicked his ass the entire game, and Shea had a chip and was John with Castle. Like I think when the Thunder come out and the refs swallow the whistle and are just like, all right, we kick the shit out of them. Nobody's going to beat the Thunder just because they're so physical. But I just think it's the depends on the flow of the game. I also feel like the Spurs weren't hitting all the shots they were hitting the first 3 games, and that matters.
Yeah.
Champagny was the only one hitting shots. Castle really didn't play that well. De'Aaron Fox was a ghost, and Keldon Johnson didn't hit a damn thing.
No.
So, I mean, I truly think this is the next great NBA rivalry is on the horizon. Maybe not this year, but for the next probably 6 or 7 years to come, this is going to be a second. This is going to be OKC Memphis.
And that's why you like parody, Isaiah. Fuck dynasties. Parody. Because if you think that somebody can really lose, you want to watch. You just to see. Even if they lose or they don't, whenever you know who's going to win, I am not watching that shit.
Man, I think it's crazy because I think if the Rockets just find a fucking point guard, I think
Reed Shepard is the guy.
It's crazy to me because the top 4 in the West really could be like, I mean, it could be a dogfight between OKC, the Spurs, the Rockets if they find a point guard, and the Nuggets.
Yeah.
I agree.
Well, I think Reed Shepard has the best potential, but Reed
sucks.
Shepard plays about 19 minutes a game because he's so small. On the defensive side, he's more because he's like 6'2".
Hey. Let me call a pivot real quick.
Let me say something.
Trae Young to Washington. Trae Young to Washington. What's y'all's thoughts?
I know that didn't. Okay, you went to a worse team.
He went to a worse team,
but in Atlanta.
Yeah, I think it's just for him. Maybe he just wanted a reset. But I mean, I look at it and I'm like, dog, if you're mad at Atlanta for not building a team around you, like,
why the fuck would you want to go to Washington?
You think Washington is just gonna figure it out, my guy? And maybe they do, but they didn't for John Wall.
No, they didn't. Whenever they had Kuz, they didn't. Whenever Russ had them competitive, at least a little bit, and their last draft pick that was like of high potential, really, was Rui, and you traded him. So now it's
you can have him back if you want. I'm being for real.
George.
You can have him back.
Well, you know what I mean. It's just, and he's hurt. Trae Young is hurt. So you got traded, and then you put on the fucking jersey to not play. They are 10-30.
I think they do have 2 first rounders this year, though, right? I think
They do.
the thought for Washington, it makes sense because you pair Trey Young with a young player so that Trey Young can carry the load, pause, as the young player develops into the league. So that there's
Yeah.
the effect, kind of what happened with Wemby with De'Aaron Fox. How
Yeah.
for a while it was like Wemby is a freak, but he's not what I thought. He's not taking
It's
over
not
games like he can.
turning.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then De'Aaron Fox comes in, and it's like, okay, De'Aaron Fox is going to eat some of that attention up.
Yeah.
Now you can develop, kind of thing. So I think it makes sense. It just depends on their draft picks. But Cameron, what you think of
I
Trey?
I am different than y'all. I like it. I think
Let's go.
I I think because of his limitations, he was starting to feel the heat in Atlanta.
Yeah.
They wanted him the fuck up out of there
Yeah.
because he can't play defense. He is going to a place that hasn't won basketball in years and years and years. So they're just going to be so excited to have somebody that can fucking dominate. Like, and albeit it might not be efficient, and he's going to go there where he can average 25 and 12. And even if they lose by fucking 30, he's bringing exciting basketball to Washington, where they haven't had exciting basketball since John fucking Wall.
That is a fact.
So
I was
I
just gonna
think
say this is a decision like whenever you make a 2K character and you
right.
like, hey bro, I want to go to the worst spot so I can get 90 shots this
So
game.
I
Yeah.
could
Yeah.
fucking hoop.
And that's what he's about to do. He is about to just he might
That's
average
genuinely why
32.
like I like it. Man, I think he's going to go there. It's going to be a reset. He's going to be relaxed. People are going to be cuz like in basketball, it's kind of a weird sport. When you have people behind you building you up, I feel like you play a lot better than if people are tearing you down all around you. Like I don't know what like confidence is crazy to me in basketball. If people are gassing you the fuck up, you usually come out hooping.
I agree.
So I think going there and being paired up, like Marlon said, with a young Alex Sarr who's starting to kind of come out of his shell,
Hmm.
With
I
some more
think
draft picks.
Trey Young is going to unlock him a little bit. And they have other good young pieces too. It's not just Alex Sarr. They're just young and haven't figured out how to win.
Facts.
Now Trey Young isn't going to teach them how to win because Trey Young don't
It's not gonna be
Hey,
him.
hey.
but
To be fair, he carried Atlanta to the Eastern Conference
that's
Finals.
true.
I think that's
Yep.
we can't overlook that. What I was going to ask y'all to keep going into the conversation is do you think that it also makes sense at this point because how I don't want to call it frail, but how available the Eastern Conference is to be built because of injuries, because you have Joel dealing with hella injuries in Philly, and you have Hallie, he's out with an Achilles, and then you have everyone else that's out. Yes, they're talking about Tatum coming back from Boston, but are they going to be as good as they had been? Do you feel like it's a lot easier to want to build in the East versus the West? Because in the West, it's like, dog, I'm competing with the Thunder for the next 15 years, and I don't want none of that. I don't want to compete with the Spurs and Wemby for the next 5 to 10 years. I don't want to compete with all of what's happening in the West right now. I think it's a little bit better and easier in the East.
Yeah. You're
It's
asking if there's
easier
going to
to.
be a flux of talent go to the East because of that?
Yes,
I
yes.
think
Okay.
it's. I think it's easier to build, but they just don't know how to do it. It's top heavy.
I agree, but I'm saying like that's why
Yeah.
that's for me. If you want to build someone to at least give yourself a chance, I'm doing that
Yeah.
shit in the East.
I mean, because right now in the East, you got who are the top teams, right? You're looking at New York, Boston,
By the way, don't look
Detroit,
now, but
hey,
New York is absolutely
Detroit.
falling apart right now.
Yeah,
yeah, they are.
and
Detroit,
Detroit is
Like their
the
last
number
15
one
games have
seed.
been horrible. Detroit, listen, man, maybe not this year, but they're a year or two away.
yeah, I agree. I think they are
Which
too.
nobody expected Detroit to kind of have the seed. I mean, they made the playoffs
Toronto's the
last
4
year.
seed. Orlando's the 5
Toronto,
seed.
Brandon Ingram's been killing too, man. That dude's been
Cleveland's the
hooping.
6 seed. Philly's the 7, and Miami's the 8 seed. And we could see Miami potentially if they get Ja and they give him Misselli's back.
That's all he wants.
Yeah,
That's all he wants. He
I think
can't do that in Memphis.
I truly think like for somebody like Ja, you can have a Jimmy Butler push through the Eastern Conference this year, and you can get to a NBA Finals and get just completely destroyed by whoever comes out of the West. That you're very much capable of that.
You
With
said Washington has two firsts this season,
I
this year.
this coming up, I think I heard it somewhere. I can't remember. I be listening to so many
Damn.
podcasts and shit while I'm doing other stuff that it all runs together. But hold on, Washington Wizards. Go ahead.
I think they have two first.
I
Wait.
man, if I were them, I would package those two first and try and get like a good combo wing.
I
Michael
was
Porter
wrong. My
Jr.
bad. I was wrong, but they do get a protected pick between one through if it's 1 through 8. So
Gotcha.
as
Because
long as
I don't know if
they,
y'all been watching, but Michael Porter Jr. looks like what he should have came out of the draft looking like.
oh,
He's
hey,
averaging like 22 points a game right now,
hey,
killing.
hey, all I'm saying is
I'm about to go look at his last game. Now I'm intrigued
this
because
guy.
I was like, well,
Don't
no,
look.
I've always been a proponent of hating on Michael Porter Jr. I've just never liked him.
I think more or less what I'm looking at right now is if I'm in the East, like we said earlier, there is no team that truly scares me. I look in the West and I'm like, bro, it's gonna be so hard to catch the Thunder. It's gonna be
Hmm.
so hard to
Yeah.
catch the Spurs. It's gonna be so hard for the next 3 to 5 years to catch the Nuggets. It's gonna be hard to catch Minnesota if they can figure it out. It's gonna be hard to catch Houston if the Lakers dump LeBron and they can bring in some wing depth. Maybe they make a run for another couple years.
Good
Maybe
Lord.
Phoenix does and whatnot. But it's just so much flux of talent that the East, it's a little bit easier for a John Morant to go and play with Miami and make them competitive because of that. Pull a real LeBron James, dog.
The problem with the problem with trying to build in Washington, regardless of conference affiliation, is nobody wants to fucking play with Trey Young. I think that article came out close to the beginning of the season. Like he's one of the most unlikable players in the whole league, but voted on by the players because of his play style. So it's like, man, unless you draft somebody, because I'm trying to think like, what can you do at draft picks to try and jump on this like now? And I like you started talking about Ja to Miami, and I was like, well, what would it take to get Ja from Memphis? Could
Him,
Washington kind of get
him
in on a deal and maybe get Bam, which
possibly.
Miami ain't giving up Bam, but
Oh no!
Yeah.
If they
or
get Ja, they're not giving him up. But they could
or could
find.
they get Jaren Jackson Jr.?
That's
What
what
if
I was
Memphis
just
blows it
about to
up?
say. Yeah,
Like,
if
Yeah.
you're getting rid of Ja, you are blowing it up, dog.
because
So
yeah, because at least
Yeah.
Jaren can shoot.
yeah,
You
and
know,
well, he
he
gives
can
you
bang
rim.
threes.
Yeah, he helps you get better
Yeah.
faster.
The
Somebody
Yeah,
and
best
he's a lob.
chance
He's a
that
lob threat for Trey too.
yeah.
Yeah, the
What?
best
What?
chance that they had was 2 years ago when Steven Adams was still on the team and Jared Jackson was playing really good. Desmond Bain
Yeah,
was the perfect two to Jaws one, and Jared Jackson, whenever he was able to expand his game, hit threes, guard in the low post, get fucking rebounds. That was the best chance that they had.
he's a good.
And
He's a good piece. He's shown he can be a good piece on a team that can
yeah,
make a run in the
Yeah.
playoffs. It
The
absolutely.
makes
problem,
it makes sense.
I feel like the problem with Memphis and their downfall was, I mean, their culture was took a shot when they got rid of Dylan Brooks.
Yeah,
Is it crazy? Can we look back now and see that Dylan Brooks maybe as annoying as he is, he might be a winning basketball player because everywhere he fucking goes, they win. He
he's
was he
Draymond.
was he was on Memphis when they were the 2 seed, the year before the Thunder took off. Then he went to Houston, and last season they won 50 plus games and was a 2 seed. And now he's on Phoenix, who's fucking killing right now.
Dog.
Like,
It's
is this
you.
is this dude a winning basketball player?
Every championship team needs a
Has a
player
guy
like
like
Needs
that.
a
Yeah.
Dylan
you
Brooks.
need a guy that in your perspective you're like this dude is elite, but then from every other fan's perspective they're like this dude is Goldberg spearing everybody every
Yeah.
fucking
Man,
game and they
fuck
don't call
this
it.
dude.
You
Yeah.
need that. You have to have a dude like that. So yeah, absolutely, I think Dylan Brooks is a winning player. I don't know. Memphis kind of fucked that up. But
Yeah.
for Washington, I think Trey Young makes a lot of sense for them because, like Cameron said, a lot of people or they voted on him not being one of the most likable people in the league. I've read reports like that about Russ, and
Yeah.
every single time
And
they ask his
Everybody
teammates,
loves
LeBron.
Memphis. Yeah.
yeah. Oh, the LeBron ones, I've heard that from players too, though.
Yeah.
Bro,
That's
I
the difference.
can't.
I've
I can't
never,
stand LeBron.
yeah, I've never
And
heard people come out and speak negatively about Russ. Now, if that documentary is coming after he retires on Netflix,
Can't wait.
I'll be tuned in.
Mm.
I'm just so tired of LeBron, and like I'm appreciating his greatness. So in that regard, like it's gonna be a stab when he finally walks away. But goddamn, dude, he acts so entitled, bro. It pisses me off. Like
He's the
I
greatest
don't know.
player to
He's
ever play the
he's
game,
such a
Cameron.
whiny ass.
He's
I
allowed to
don't
be
even.
entitled.
He's not even in my top two.
Well, that's a pretty short fucking list. If he's not in your top two, he's at least in everybody's top five.
Well, he's not. He's in most people's top two. It's either Jordan or LeBron.
No, I. So, here's a good thing, Marlon. Maybe this would be a good comparison. Who is because all right? Because we argue. Well, I think the world argues of everybody knows that Emmett Smith is not the greatest running back of all time. However, he has the most rushing yards in NFL history. LeBron, generational talent. Straight out of high school, went to the finals 10 times, has 4 rings. Is LeBron James almost comparable to Emmett Smith?
No, I honestly think that LeBron is Mahomes to Tom Brady. And the
I
difference
like
is
that.
is like Tom Brady does have blemishes on his championship record, and that's not what makes people great. But what does make people the greatest is coming up big in those moments more times than you fall short. And that no matter what the if that's what we're comparing, that's like you have to bring in other things. You have to bring in the skill set, what they bring to the game, their numbers and everything like that. But you can't look at one thing and say, because of this, you're the greatest of all time. The greatest of all time is decided based on your bias to the sport, how you think the sport should be played. The truth of the matter is I think that's why you have to judge it based off of eras. LeBron for his era, I think, was the best talent, but he was never the most successful.
I apologize for that comparison. That was kind of disrespectful to
I feel
LeBron
like
James.
your comparison would be more like I would compare if we're flopping sports. An Emmett Smith comparison to me would be like Klay Thompson. That's just my opinion. They both won titles. Klay Thompson's one of the greatest shooters ever, but would he be if he wasn't in that system with the other greatest shooter of all time? Like, you see, what if he's the only shooter on that team? What if he's Ray
Yes.
Allen?
Yeah. Does he
Eh,
is he as known as
Yeah.
he is now if he
I think
starts his
it's
career in Orlando?
Yeah.
I think it's hard to try to find an NFL comparison because Mahomes hasn't retired yet.
That's true. I'm just saying the trajectory. Like his story, well, no, it doesn't. It's different. Maybe LeBron's story, depending on what happens with Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson the rest of their careers, that could be the LeBron James story. You
Yeah,
started out and you were the most gifted
yeah,
player on the field at any time, and you just could not get over the hump. And maybe it takes you
yeah,
going elsewhere to then win and get around a system that can help you, or go play for a legendary coach that can help you. But it
yeah,
also it's like, well, you couldn't do it on your own, and that's what makes the best, I guess. Like that's what makes,
yeah.
as much as people can give credit to Belichick for Brady, at the end it was very obvious that like Brady was Brady because Brady was Brady, kind of thing. Like he was
Yeah,
winning those. So Brady developed in the system. They were able to win championships, and it was in big part because of him. Because before Brady was the starter, they weren't winning Super Bowls. So
well, and I honestly believe that if you watch, there's something about the way that Tom Brady changed how he played the game from his earlier years to his dominant years whenever he had Randy Moss to whenever he won his last couple Super Bowls in New England to whenever he won his Super Bowl in Tampa. you're looking at different versions of
I don't even
Brady.
think.
Can you?
Yeah, I just think that's the development, though. And
Yeah,
like he was a very much early in his career, he was very much a game manager, and then
yeah.
after that dynasty kind of fell apart those early years, he then had to. He was still developing. So then
He was
once
like,
they
"I'm gonna
were
praise God and I'm gonna start
once
balling."
once it was time for them to rebuild and retool off of those earlier Super Bowls, they could do it and build the team based on his strengths at that point, which was him being able to slang that mug all over the yard. And then that's when we got some of those years where they're going undefeated, but they lose to Eli. After that, he was so developed and his understanding of defenses and whatnot that Belichick could roll out a bad defense, and Brady was still winning with that shit.
Yeah,
So it's like that's the development of players, and I think that's why like you can see players do that and then be successful and win Super Bowls at the end of their career, similar to John Elway, and feel
yeah,
like John Elway is a better career than say a LeBron because John didn't take the easy route. He didn't go play. He didn't leave Denver at that point and go play with maybe taking instead of the Niners taking Steve Young, they go with John Elway, and he goes and wins
yeah,
some Super Bowls with Jerry Rice and blah blah blah. Like, no, he didn't do that.
yeah.
He continued to bang his head against the wall, and then at the end of it, he turned out successful. So
Yeah.
that's what people wanted with LeBron.
So
So
I have an interesting comparison then. Just off the top. What about Dion? He's the
Kind of
best
like a
corner.
hired gun, like
Just
a
not
hired
a
gun.
not like he's I feel like uncontested best corner in the league for years and years and years, but had to go to San Fran to win a Super Bowl. And then when it stopped working out there, he moved again to Dallas to win another Super Bowl. But in all three stops, he was the best corner in the league. Statistically,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like
I think that's a
he
good.
doesn't put
That's
up numbers like fucking LeBron does, but I mean basketball
well,
statistics are a lot different than football when somebody's
yeah,
not
Yeah,
throwing at you for a whole
just
season.
yeah. He was
yeah,
just that dominant. You could see the
Yeah.
yeah,
dominance that he brought, and I like the comparison too because it was like he left Atlanta and he went and won with the Niners and he was able to push organizations over the hump. I think
Yeah.
regardless of I think maybe in LA was the first time in his career he truly played with something as it was being built and then won a finals. I think
Yeah.
when he got to Cleveland, I think it was built. It was there. Everything had already followed him. So there was no rebuilding and needing to trade some draft picks and things for it to work. They were in the finals immediately. The Lakers, he got there and they were ass. And then they had to trade some draft picks to get Anthony Davis. They were able to win one in the bubble. And then they had the next year they went to the Western Conference Finals. They were able to
yeah,
be very competitive for a long time. I think that's truly the only time in LeBron's career where he started something and finished it. It wasn't a halfway built story before he just got there and put him over the top, similar to how Dion did with the Niners and similar to how Dion did with the Cowboys in the 90s.
Yeah.
Like that's a good ass comparison.
I think that the second stint in Cleveland, that version of LeBron might be one of the most dominant versions of an individual athlete I've ever seen.
I
Like,
agree.
and he could do it all three levels, like both sides of the ball. I don't know.
That
That's why I don't like. I'm careful the way I talk about LeBron because he's not one of my top two players, and my like he wouldn't be in my top two. But I'm not going to ignore the fact that from what was it 2015 to
yeah.
2020,
Yeah.
that might be the most dominant version of an individual basketball player I've ever seen in my life.
Yes, the issue is it's just it's a 3 to 4 year sample size as to
Yeah.
where Jordan's sample size even outside of that 6 year stretch, he was doing that shit every year.
Yeah.
It,
And the
it would
crazy thing is, if he doesn't walk away, everybody and their mama knows he has 9 rings if he
Yeah,
doesn't
well,
walk away. Like,
the craziest thing too is I truly think that people when they try to debate LeBron and Jordan, the biggest part that LeBron stands miss, in my opinion, is they continue to try to use Jordan's falters in the playoff as excuses for why they're on the same level, and it's like no. When LeBron in some of these like games that they're selling, They're doing it because LeBron is not being the best on the floor at the time. Like against the Spurs, regardless of how great the Spurs were, LeBron was not he was not as effective in that moment. Against the
Yeah.
Mavs, he folded. Again, like he was that's what he was doing. Jordan at the same time was not winning series, but he was cooking
Yeah, he was
legendary teams.
dominating.
He
Yeah.
was
He had
balling.
to
He had
he
it.
had to be taught how not to dominate so that they could win
Exactly.
Yeah.
games.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
He was
Phil
giving
came and he was
people
like, "Stop shooting so much."
he was giving people 40s and 50s, but that's
uh,
not why they were losing. They were losing
Yeah.
because every team was like, just stop him and or just let he's gonna get his. We can't stop him, coach. Other teams
Yeah.
looked at LeBron and were like, we can bottle him up. The Celtics did it. And everybody likes to say, "Oh, well, the Pistons did it to him." No, if you actually listen to what the Pistons said, they had the Jordan rules, but they realized he was still going to get his, and they started targeting Scottie Pippen. And the first time they
Yeah.
played him, Pippen started getting migraines. He couldn't get him over the hump. And then the second time they played him, they kicked the dog shit out of him because Pippen was tougher. That was not a
Yeah.
Michael Jordan thing. That was a Scottie Pippen thing. We
yeah,
watched LeBron fold against Dallas. That's we didn't see Jordan do that. That's that. It is what it is. I can agree that, like you said, Cam, that Cleveland Cavaliers LeBron James, that is as good of basketball as or basketball player as it comes. And that version, you can say, is that version a better player than Michael? Maybe
yeah, possibly.
as far as all around. But
All around game. Yeah.
that was a short stint of him being at that level of a
Yeah,
player. Jordan did that shit immediately, both sides of the ball, and carried Chicago until they won. Not go
Yeah.
somewhere else and win and come back whenever it's already built and you have a
yeah.
talented Kyrie Irving. You bring in Kevin Love and everybody from that Miami team
Well,
who knows that they're cooked comes to Cleveland.
and honestly too, that's you're looking at that version of LeBron for probably I'll say 14 to 20. He had been in the league at that point for 11 years.
Yeah.
If we're keeping it a stack, and I know a lot of Lakers fans won't like this, I would say 16 to 18 if we keeping it a stack. When he got to LA, he was having injury issues that first year, and the reason they won in the bubble had less to do about LeBron and more to do about Anthony Davis.
Because
I'm
Yeah.
just
Anthony
keeping it a
Davis was
stack.
fucking
Who hit the game?
dominating.
Who hit the game winner against Cleveland or against Denver in that series? Which could have, if they lose that game, that whole series flips. Anthony Davis hits that motherfucker. Like, let's keep it a stack.
Yeah.
They were as
Yeah.
good as they were defensively because of Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis
Yes.
was averaging 30 as well, so he was guarding Jokic and doing like playing defense like that. Bam.
Yeah.
And grabbing rebounds and stuff like that. LeBron won the MVP that year because his name is LeBron James. I'm keeping it fully.
I just my problem with the LeBron Jordan thing, and it's hard to say stuff like this because it's God given, physiques, but it's why I get annoyed with Wimby, not Wimby fans, but with Wimby because this dude is so fucking arrogant. Like he's just that fucking dude, and it's like I look at him I'm like, bro, stop it. Because if you wasn't 8.5 foot tall with a 14 foot wingspan, you'd just be a regular ass guy.
he
Like,
is
does he
that
is he
dude.
is he cold? Yeah, he's cold. He's good. He's got a bag. Like, but man, this dude. But that's how I feel about LeBron and Jordan. Is like, okay, well, what if Jordan was fucking 6'8", 275, brick shit house, could just bully people in the lane with his already given bag. You know what I'm
It
saying?
and right, and people, I love how people try to look at the '90s and say like, oh, well, if you look at the game and how it's played today, yeah,
Yeah,
what you're
bro.
doing is saying that the game has came further in 2026 as opposed to 1990. Yeah, but if you bring Michael Jordan, the player, and you bring him up in the same era, he is always going to compete at the highest level because his
Bro.
biggest quality wasn't his ability to pass or play outside of his era. It was that he was a competitor, and I just have a
Yes.
thought that he would figure it out and figure how
I
to win in this era.
I feel like even in football, like if like give me one of those early 2000s, like let's say the Ravens. or even the Panthers in the early 2000s. Give me one of those fucking defenses against any offense in the league today, because I promise you, like, yeah, these offenses are gonna be cute and they're gonna throw it until somebody gets fucking destroyed, and then those receivers ain't coming across the middle like that no more.
Yeah,
Exactly.
speaking of hospital balls, dear God, I know this was like last week, but we hadn't potted. Josh Allen basically ended Gabe Davis's
Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
new
he
yeah, yeah.
did.
That's
stint
definitely
in Buffalo.
yeah. Nah, that's his career.
Holy fuck!
That's his career, my guy. I'm sorry. Like shout out
I
to
looked at that and I was
shout out to Gabe
like,
Davis.
I
That's
know
over with.
that he saw that
Yeah,
before, before like, oh my
yeah.
God, yeah,
Bro,
shout
we
out
were
to Gabe.
trying to kill everybody in a Buffalo uniform last week because we hurt Josh Allen twice.
Yeah,
I thought we got him up out of there the second
Josh
time with
Hines
the
Allen. What a
knee.
joke. What a
Oh yeah.
joke,
Oh, is
Josh
this what
Hines
we're
Allen.
doing?
what
This is what we're
what a
doing?
What a
joke!
joke. What a
I
joke,
just want
kid.
to remind you guys that there's only
You
one
just guys.
team in this group that still has a head coach. So fuck yous.
Hey, I would like to remind you, Cameron.
Ooh.
Hey, if the
David,
Steelers
you
make
got
a
me. You got me.
if the Steelers make a hire and it's a hire that I actually agree with, Cameron, I'm on your ass. I don't
Oh,
care.
good,
It's
good,
it's
because we play
back.
each other next season. So
Oh,
let's find it. Let's
we
run it.
bring the right coach. We coming in. Where is it in Duval?
I don't think they've announced if it. Oh yeah, they did the.
The
Hold on, I'll
schedule.
look it up.
Cool,
Yeah,
because we coming to fuck y'all up.
they haven't
That's
announced the dates, but they announced the home and aways.
Sunday night football. We coming in there and taking the trap over.
He
But
said,
gents,
Liam Cohen, we coming for you.
yeah. A couple other things. So, what next weekend we have Gaethje and Paddy to Batty, and I know it's a deep
Yeah,
card, but we have
you
been
come to
going for a while.
Duval.
So who wins? Justin Gaethje, Paddy Pimblett for the interim lightweight championship.
Give me Paddy.
Look, all right, I've been stewing over this talk for about 2 weeks now because we have been waiting over a month for the UFC to finally come back. No pay-per-view structure. Get Paramount Plus. There's one edge that I give to Paddy Pimblett in this fight, and it is his ability to wrestle. It is ability to control and be dominant on the ground. He doesn't have to do it often because he's so exciting. But if he gets Gaethje on the ground, obviously he's not Khabib level on the ground, but Paddy Pimblett is really good with his ground game. I think if they stand up, them Gaethje kicks, I don't think Paddy eats too many of those, and Paddy's going to be like, well, I had to take him to the ground. He's going to take him to the ground, and it's going to happen fast. And I'm not saying that Gaethje can't hold his own either. I'm not saying that. But there's a certain energy that Paddy Pimblett fights with that I truly believe that will give him the edge in this fight. Not to mention, I think this is Gaethje's swan song. This is like one of his last couple in the organization before he's like, all right, I'm too fucking old. I'm done. I think he's motivated. Every warrior, every fighter is going to be motivated. But I think it's more on Paddy's side with this fight. And Paddy has a chance to silence everybody that's like, you just fight tomato cans.
Justin's a tomato can, bro. No, I'm joking. I'm going with Patty too. If we're keeping it a stack, and what you said is everything that you said is very, very true, Isaiah. But I do think that Justin can get off the ground. Some of the other fighters that Patty fought, they can't. He gets on him and he's a lot bigger. I think Justin being around guys like Kamaru Usman, I think him being a good wrestler himself, he'll be good there. I think the difference is the pressure. That's one thing
Paddy
that
has a lot
Justin.
of pressure.
That's one thing that has given Justin issues in the past is constant pressure early. Make him wear himself out. Make him wear himself out so then you can start taking those shots. And then once you start taking those shots, he slows down. Your volume picks up. You can push him against the cage, beat him up. I think that's how this fight ends, is Justin pushed up against the cage, covering, and whoever it is possibly pulling Paddy off of him. And then Paddy cutting a crazy promo about Ilya.
I told Elias what was going to happen.
I told you skeezers. Yeah, Ilya.
I'm a fucking scared.
Yeah, you little whore. Ilya, huh? Yeah. What
Just like with Ferguson, who's gonna carry the bolts now? It's not gonna be fucking Justin.
Can't wait to get out and stop eating this shite.
I think that Gaethje is a reckless fighter. I think he wins his fights with reckless punches. I think Paddy Pimblett
Man,
is measured,
yeah,
and to Marlon's point, I think he gets more careless the more tired he gets. And that's when he starts getting the deer legs. And when Paddy comes out and pressures the absolute piss out of him at the beginning, he's going to get tired and he's going to start throwing careless. And Paddy's going to measure his ass up and start teeing off. That's my opinion.
I agree.
Paddy's just to me as a measured fighter. He pressures early and then starts picking his shots as the fight wanes on when people are tired.
And
I do agree. I think he's looking ahead a little bit because that's been a fight he wants, and he knows if he don't win, he doesn't get that fight.
Yeah, and that fight is gonna sell. I can't wait. We got to go catch that fight whenever it does get announced because it's coming. I think I give Gaethje a puncher's chance. I think if he lands something early, it can change the momentum of the fight. But I do expect. I don't know. I feel like if you let Justin sit back and fight just a kickboxing fight, he'll fuck you up. He's gonna eat your legs up so that you can't move, and then he's gonna work and stuff like that.
That's
I
what
think.
I'm saying.
Remind me of the weight class. Is this lightweight?
Lightweight. 155.
And Paddy's taller than him.
He's gonna be so much bigger. Paddy comes in at at 170 basically. So when he pressures Justin, he's gonna be leaning on him, and I think it's gonna gas Justin to constantly work.
Actually, Justin's taller than Paddy. I thought Paddy was taller than Justin. My bad. But I mean, you're right as far as like
he's gonna be bigger. He may be taller, but he's gonna look bigger essentially.
Yeah.
Because I mean, honestly, like Charles is taller than Ilya, but Ilya looked bigger, like more compact than Charles did. And it's like watching Max fight at 155 over 145. He just looks so much bigger. Like
at
he's
45,
he's still so long. It's crazy. So
I have a question.
What?
So if you're the fight makers,
no.
He said no.
No.
Were you about to say Max and Ilya? Please don't say that.
Bro,
No.
Max came out and said he wants to run it back with the BMF title on the line.
I don't want to see it happen.
Max, my dog.
The only reason I put it out there is because if you're looking at sales, you're looking at, people tickets.
After Paddy and Ilya.
Would you place that fight before and let the winner take on the winner of Gaethje and Paddy? Or would you let Max just kind of hang out and wait? Maybe fight a shit fighter to tune up.
Max is about to fight Oliveira. So if he wins
that's right. Yeah.
If he wins that,
then
that's in a couple months. Yeah. And then you have Ilya come back and fight Paddy, and then whoever wins that maybe Max. But if look, I as a Max fan, I watched Max fight Alex Volkanovski 3 times. And the first fight, I'll give it to Volk. I think Volk won. The second fight, Max Holloway won that fight. Nobody will ever convince me that Max did not win that second fight. That third fight, he got beat the fuck up, and I've never recovered. And then Ilya. Now
he got knocked the fuck out.
Maybe it's a different story at lightweight. That story sells me, but please, for the love of God, give me Ilya and Paddy first. Please.
And that fight is interesting because Paddy will be able to use his size to his advantage a lot different. Like because Ilya came in as a wrestler, he could just fucking throw them things.
Yeah,
people don't even realize that.
The matchup for Paddy, man, because Ilya's also has crazy stamina. So he's not going to give a fuck about the pressure that Paddy puts on him.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like
he gonna bang, bro. He be
it's just I don't throw them shits, bro.
I just don't.
It is scary. His power. But Ilya's got to figure out his divorce first before he fights again. Because that's the thing that's holding up the sport.
And I think that's why it makes sense for Ilya to fight the winner of Paddy and Gaethje next, because he has to figure all that out. He needs to come back and fight for the championship immediately. Why would he fight Max first over unifying the championship?
I don't know.
Let Max
Don't
fight
subject Max
Charles.
to that again. Okay.
Let him
I
fight
just-
Charles and let's see how he looks against Charles. All right.
Look,
If
there's
I-
something
if
that
he
I
moves-
There's a
saw.
part of me that wants him to just come back and be like, you know what, man, fuck this weight class and move up and fight fucking what's his nuts he's been talking shit about all this time. And light
Islam?
heavy. Yeah.
Oh, you mean at welterweight?
Or a welter, yeah.
So I want to see Paddy first. If he does it after Paddy, I don't care. I'm fine with it. Let Max win the lightweight championship. I would love it. I would love it. And then they can do.
Why do people hate him so much? I don't understand it. Like Ilya. I don't get it because he doesn't.
Yeah, I don't think
Everybody
people hate him.
Oh.
I just
Well,
don't want him to
fighters-
fight my
all the
favorite
fighters
fighter.
fucking hate him.
Look, yeah, that's the thing.
They
There's
hated
something.
Conor.
There's something about that man. Whenever he looked Charles Oliveira in the face, it was like, "I'm sorry, it has to be you," and knocked him the fuck out. And then, when I've never seen Max be afraid in the octagon,
Yeah, same.
he fought Ilya and looked
When
afraid.
he got hit like right here,
right there, and he was like,
backed up. DC said it on commentary. He said, "I've
He
never
said,
seen
"Ah!"
Max take a backward step," and I was like, "Neither have I, DC. Neither have I." And
so
yeah,
you
no,
want to
it's-
cry because you're like, there's
he's-
something about
he's-
this machine.
He's such a great because I think Max is a great and phenomenal fighter, and he is one of, if not my favorite fighter of all time. It's crazy how they're all Hawaiian because before that was BJ. Pause. And I just, Ilya is that special John Jones. He is like a unicorn. So it's like, I love Ilya or I love Max, but like, dog, I saw that. And it was now do I think Max was also killing himself making 45 and maybe he has an advantage at 55? I think he could, but dog, I don't want to subject Max to that.
I just think
bro.
it says something when Ilya comes out and points at the mat and Max like, no.
Yeah.
No. We ain't doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was like, fuck out of here.
Yeah.
He was like, what's up?
Yeah.
Fuck?
And, hey, contrary to popular belief, if you go back and watch that fight, which I have, even I go straight back to depression.
I feel like Max was doing okay.
He was doing great.
He was doing the best that he could.
This is the thing. Ilya's game plan was leg kick, leg kick, leg kick. Why? Because he wanted to slow Max's movement down, and once he was able to slow Max down,
Walk him down.
He walked him down.
Walk him down.
Walked him
Fucking
down. So if you look at it, there's a lot early on where Ilya he's trying to get his timing right. And when he throws, Max is just out of the way. Once he slowed him down, he wasn't out the way no more. And Ilya was just
Bap, bap, bap. His combo game needs to be studied. It looks such like a measured traditional boxer that it's scary, bro. It reminded me, like, obviously he's a better boxer than Piotr Jan, but when Piotr Jan was beating the shit out of Aljo before he got DQ'd, that's what he was doing, bro.
Yeah.
He literally was he was fucking bobbing with Mike Tyson. He threw those leg kicks, like you said, to slow him down and to get Max off of his front foot.
Yeah. And when Max changed his stance, he played right into it. It's crazy. And he said it, which makes it even wilder, is that's why he was so confident. And I knew, because you said what he said against Charles. He was telling Max, like, look, I appreciate you, brother. You are a legend
like you,
of
dog.
this sport.
Yeah,
and
I'm gonna fuck you up.
But I know what's going to happen, brother. And Max is like, okay, well, we'll see.
We're going to see. That is what's scary about
the way he ran through Volk, bro, put him on a whole different stratosphere. Because the way Volk was dominating that division,
dog,
and then Ilya came through and through him like hot and
literally, legitimately was like, "You can have it back. I'm gonna move up."
Me and Isaiah at that time of Ilya's rise, we were doing a podcast called We Just Talking, and it was just he and I talking mostly UFC, and we talked about Ilya's rise of. He was beating on the pre-show, dog. Quickly, and he fought very often. When he fought Thug Nasty and rolled him around like that,
fuck out of him.
I was like, Oh God,
And he had a ranking. I think Thug Nasty was like
he was undefeated at the
9.
time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
undefeated, was
yeah,
like 9th in that division,
yeah.
and he beat the
He
absolute fuck out of him.
and then he beat up Emmett Till. I did not Emmett Till.
No,
God,
Darren.
I
Jesus,
know, I know,
no,
Darren Till.
no, not
You're talking
Darren
about
Till.
Josh Emmett. You're
Josh
talking about
Emmett. Yeah,
Josh Emmett.
God,
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
All right, Emmett Till.
Damn, goddamn. Ooh, boy. Good thing it's not in February because I'd have got canceled and boy, I'd have been all kinds of Uncle Toms and all kinds of stuff. But yeah, he beat the fuck out of Josh Emmett. And that's when I knew. So when he fought Volk, I was out. I was on the side of Joe Rogan of like, man, that he's fighting way too
Y'all
fast after
fucking
that head
know.
kick. And so once Ilya hit him, I was like, yeah, that's a wrap. And that's why I knew what
See,
was happening to Max. I was like,
Yeah.
see, I wish I wouldn't have gotten out of like I got out of watching the UFC for a while. So like that fight card at your house when it was Max
300, wasn't
and
it?
was at 300, yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
That was the first time I'd seen Ilya fight, and I was like, Jesus
Bro,
Christ.
here's the thing. Here's the thing about this man, Cameron. I on ESPN Plus, there was literally fight nights every fucking Saturday, and that's how I closed out my spring up until football season.
Yes.
I think Ilya fought 2 or 3 times in that 8 month span, and in that span, he went from like the second on the prelims, and then his biggest name that he had fought was Thug Nasty. And I was like, I was a Thug Nasty fan.
Yeah.
I was like, bro, like his game on the ground, he's got good energy, he's got a good gas tank.
Think of it like this, Cam. At the time, the thought in the UFC was that Thug Nasty was the next at the featherweight.
Mhm.
Like he's the next generation of fighter in the featherweight division. He's gonna soon be challenging Volk, Max, those guys. He's
Yeah.
fighting against a guy who's very good, but we expect Thug Nasty to be able to like control him, tire him out.
Mhm.
And Thug Nasty even got him on the ground early. Didn't
Mhm.
matter. Didn't matter.
But by the time they got back on the feet, my dude, Cameron, if you have a chance, I want you to watch this fight to really understand what we're talking
It's
about.
only like a 2.5 minute fight, but it's just a lot happened, and it was at that point thinking of what Thug Nasty's potential was, and Ilya
And watch
carving
it.
through him. I was like,
Yeah.
He ended it. He ended it
fuck,
like that.
ow, fuck, man, fuck.
Like when I saw that fight, and then I saw, like I said, when he fought Charles Oliveira. Oliveira was on what, a 12 fight win streak?
Wait, who? When Ilya did?
Yeah.
No, he had already lost to Islam.
Oh my bad. Before, yeah, so he lost to Islam. So, and Islam Makhachev is right now probably one of the most dominant fighters.
He's pound
in
for
the
pound
UFC.
number one in the
pound
league.
for,
Or in
pound
the,
for pound.
yeah.
So that one, you're like, it makes sense. We're gonna scrap it. Ilya, he beat the fuck out of Thug Nasty, but at the same time, like, we haven't seen him fight a submission specialist on the level of Oliveira. And he looked that nigga in his eyes and was like, it has to be you. I'm sorry. And knocked him the fuck out.
And Oliveira got him down. And usually when Oliveira gets you down, you're down.
He
stood up.
It's over.
He stood up, and you could see Charles go,
fuck. Yeah. And fucking ate one, bro.
Yeah.
Dominated.
Yeah.
I'm
curious.
be glazing this dude so much.
You are.
It's just
he's the lightweight Poetom, but let's continue so we can wrap up. So last two things we can talk is wrestling real quick. What match do you think will main event WrestleMania this year?
give me John Cena and Brock
Yeah,
Lesnar.
right.
You said main event?
Yes.
Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker.
Ooh.
And then, God, man, I fucking hate this because I'm so tired of it. But I just have a feeling it's going to be Drew and fucking Cody. So stupid.
Yeah.
But I do think Seth and Braun will be on the other night. And I think somewhere they're going to squeeze in, if he's healthy. I don't know if he'll be healthy, but Dom and Finn, I think, will be squeezed in there somewhere. Because I think that's going to blow up in the next few months.
I agree because they set the seed with CM Punk talking to Finn for Finn to have a babyface run.
Yeah.
Which is cool, finally. I agree. I think it's going to be Cody Rhodes, Drew McIntyre. They may squeeze in Jacob Fatu.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty much written in sand. And Cody will more than likely win. I would like to see a pivot. I know Triple H released a statement saying that he thought that if he went with Cody and Roman, it would be too stale.
Yeah.
I tend to not care. I would much rather have saw that, just because. And even if it wasn't for the belt, like if Cody took this WrestleMania not as a challenger and not as a champion, but as a guy who's trying to prove himself to get back, I would like that storyline with Cody a lot more than just constantly being thrown at the championship. I also could see, I don't know, Braun versus Seth. I could see Braun maybe versus Punk again. Maybe Braun versus Seth versus Punk, something like
Yeah.
that. Um, or maybe you go Braun versus Roman.
Look, there's one thing that needs to happen in WrestleMania for it to pop, boys. Okay, there's only one name that I'm thinking of here. Okay,
What? Vince McMahon?
no,
That shit
there's
would
only one
pop.
name that
What
makes
up,
sense.
G?
If you say his name and he appears,
Joe
Ooh.
Hendry.
Only
he's
if
the only
Booker,
one.
only if Booker is on commentary. I believe in Joe
No,
Hendry.
is it? He almost sounds like fucking Louis Armstrong. Like Booker, get some water, dog.
Dog, it's Doc Rivers.
I want to
No,
see some of the new NXT talent get pushed. Like I would like to see like an Obafemi or shit, even Trick Williams get a U.S. title run. Bro,
It's
crowds
coming.
fucking go crazy for
It's
Trick Williams, bro. I
it's
get
coming.
hyped.
It's coming.
you talk
I,
about the Alabama alum Trick Williams? Didn't he
you
go to
know,
Alabama?
I don't know, but
I don't know.
what I'm excited about is that we are now starting to see the other wave of Triple H talent and Shawn Michaels
Yeah.
from NXT come through,
Yeah.
and you're starting to see that's why AJ's retiring this year. Randy will be soon to follow. They're starting to build. It just
Yeah.
I don't think that it should have took this fucking long. I think they
Yeah,
shouldn't
because
have
I think
ran
it's
with
got to
it.
hit fast. I think it's got to
Well,
hit fast, otherwise you'll
I
lose viewers.
it
Honestly.
just feels like they have to reset. But the reason they have to reset, and I know it was all fun and shit, but it's because Cena ate up a lot of the storylines. He
Mhm.
caused a lot of the young talent to not be able to develop because he took that spot. Did he
Mhm.
deserve it? Absolutely, for everything he did for the company. But
Yeah.
if he did do that, so because he took that spot, it caused them to not be able to also push one of the other younger talent to a place because he has that role. You still have to have Cody in them at a role because they're still in the top role. It's just Cena's retiring. So
When
yeah,
is
they're
CM
just
Punk gonna go, bro? I mean, respectfully.
he said when he's 50, I think it's starting to get close. You'll I think CM Punk is going to be in a role where he's he's going to start chasing quote unquote the title. He won't be the champ
Hmm.
after he loses it, but he won't be there every week.
Yeah,
He'll be
I mean,
You
it's
know
a
what's
just like
part of
crazy is
Roman.
WrestleMania.
I'm
Yes.
thinking I'm thinking of all these storylines that I want to see or matchups I want to see, and not one of them is Gunther. Isn't that's weird to me? Like I
I
just don't know where he fits in. Like what are you gonna do with him?
if you want me to
I
be
mean,
honest,
obviously he's gonna start ending legends. Like
yes,
that's my opinion.
you know what I want,
What?
because this is what's talking. This is what you do with Gunther. If you're Triple H and Triple H, if you need somebody on your writing staff, dog, I got you. What you do with Gunther is you capitalize on the momentum that the internet fans and the casual going wrestling fan has for Y2J coming back to the WWE. And you have
Yeah.
Gunther beat the hell out of him. You have him
The
chop
shit out.
Y2J. You have him play a Fozzy song on Y2J's chest. That's what you do. And you continue to do that and just have him be the most hated guy of all time. And then that way, whenever you need a heel to challenge anybody, it's already self
Ooh,
put.
could he be like the Legend Killer 2.0, and then he squares up with Randy Orton?
Well, he's gonna
I
end Randy's career too. He's gonna end AJ's. He's gonna end
I
Randy.
think
He's gonna beat the hell out of Y2J. That's what's happening.
I wonder if they're gonna try and start pushing an AJ Gunther WrestleMania and have somewhere where John Cena makes his first return of some capacity in that match. And the only reason why I say that is because I think one of the best things they've done with Gunther in a long time was that promo, the Raw after, when he said, "I made John Cena tap like
Tap
a little
out like a
bitch."
little bitch.
Like, bro, like you have to. There's no way John Cena doesn't come back and respond to that in some
Nah,
capacity.
nah.
Maybe
You
not as
know
a
why?
wrestler or
You
as
know
in
why
a
he
match,
doesn't?
but
You know why he doesn't?
why?
Because he tapped like a bitch. That's
I just
why.
That's
I want
why.
that. I want that to happen, and I want John Cena to return, and I want it to not work, and I want AJ to still get beat, and maybe that's how you send AJ out with John.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, you could do
That's
that.
that's something I think could happen, but I don't know if AJ wants to retire that soon.
No, I think he's going until later into the year. So you could do that later, which I'm fine with. I
Yeah,
think it helps as long as he's like Gunther now has to be used to push some like to use these legends as a stepping stone. And he's
yeah.
old himself, and not a lot of people vibe with him. But you have to have a heel. You have to have somebody that people don't like. A
I
guy
think
that
he's a perfect heel, man.
yeah, he's the Miz. He's the
Yeah,
Miz in 20 when everybody hated him, but it was like, yes, the reason that you cared so much was because you hated him. You wanted to see him get beat. So
he gives
whenever
me.
when your favorite, which was Cena, came to win the title back, you tuned in to see the Miz because you want to
Yeah,
see him lose. That's a good heel.
he gives me JBL.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
Mm,
JBL was so
Yes.
just
cocky
doesn't
and
give a
arrogant, bro.
fuck. Yeah,
Yeah, I
arrogant.
am a wrestling god.
God.
That whole stint of JBL used to annoy the absolute shit out of me. I fucking hated it.
Same,
Bro,
but that I mean he
I
did his
still
job.
cannot believe that he was cutting promos as a member of the Border Patrol back in the
Bro, as a complete racist.
Yeah.
in the
Fucking
early mid two
Bro, I'm telling you,
thousands.
Vince McMahon was before his time, I guess. That's the easiest way. That's the easiest way to say that, but
It's so
uh
crazy.
it is. But gentlemen, two last things, college football. Jason Witten hired at OU, and then Dante Moore decides to come back to college. Do you think the NIL is starting to affect the NFL?
Can Dylan Raiola retransfer? Because what a fucking idiot! He
well, the
should have
problem is
stayed in
nobody
Nebraska.
fucking wanted him, dude.
He should have
Well,
stayed in Nebraska.
Well,
Yeah.
I read a story. I had someone send me a story that Raiola wants to do what Dante Moore did behind Dylan Gabriel, which is he's okay with sitting and learning because he realizes that he needs to get better. So he's okay taking a year behind Dante Moore, getting 1 year with Oregon after Dante goes to the draft next year, and then trying to have a good year and then go to the NFL himself.
And then build his stock up
Yeah.
himself. I mean, I guess, I mean, that's more noble. But he also made that decision before Dante made his, so I don't think he was expecting it. I think he was gonna. I think he's okay with it because one, his dad understands what that's like because his dad was a Pro Bowler while he was in the NFL. So he's like, no, you shut the fuck up. You sit behind him. I don't care. I think that's where his dad kind of rubs off on him a little bit. Um, I'm glad that Dante Moore came back because getting your ass beat like that by Indiana, bro. I mean,
From what I've heard, I listen to Todd McShay a lot. He's been
yeah.
saying for the longest that Dante Moore was coming back. He said that regardless, he was coming back.
Mhm.
He had been saying that for the last month or two. So I think maybe he didn't know, but again, it's do you want to go back to Nebraska and just not be very good in a not good system, or do you want to learn from it?
Well, I feel like Nebraska really had a chance with Matt Rule because they started the season good. They were in the top 25. They had opportunities, and then Raul got hurt. Other pieces on that offense got hurt. So the season kind of went to waste. I think at one point, weren't they like 6-2 or 7-2? Something like that. Like they had an opportunity to not necessarily like, go to CFP, but at least improve and build into the next season. I think Matt Rule's always been really good at in his except for the stint in the NFL, he's fucking terrible. But wherever
It,
he's at in college, he's good at like
do you want to go to
building up.
do you want to go to go back to Nebraska where let's be real for 25 years it's been pretty bad, or do you want to go to Oregon where it's cool, you get Nike shit all free as hell, you're gonna be have better support and staff, you're gonna develop
Yeah.
faster, or that's why fuck Nebraska
No,
then.
I understand. He
Yeah,
just you went interconference, so you're gonna. I think that's
the
the one thing
thing.
that
That's
looks a
the
little
thing,
different.
dog. That's the thing. Baker went in conference. It's like shit. It's been happening. It's been happening. But the original question is: the NIL starting to affect the NFL?
Yes, they make more money staying than they would possibly on their rookie contracts, depending on where they're drafted. I think Shador made more money at Colorado than he's making right now in the NFL.
Correct.
I mean, Jaden Daniels' deal was what, like 5 M's before he left? I mean, obviously he's going to get extended with Washington, whenever that time comes up. But I mean, yeah, I definitely think so. I mean, the NIL was the reason why he went to LSU.
Okay, Cam, I need your opinion, and then I'm gonna give Isaiah a devil's advocate.
For the NIL?
Yeah, do you think NIL is starting to affect the NFL?
No. Because I think the teams I think the players that need to come back, for example, John Mateer.
Yep.
If there's no NIL, John Mateer is going to go to the league, and he's not going to be any good. He needs another year to develop. And so the NIL makes it a lot more enticing to come back and develop that last year. That's my opinion. Can it be the adverse? I guess. Like Kip Lewis probably could have went to the league and done okay for himself, but he's coming back to get one more run. But I feel like the NIL, when it comes to if it hurts the product in the NFL, I don't think it does. I think it makes it better because I think the players have one more year of good ball to develop before they enter the draft. That's just my opinion. I think it eliminates all the guys that go out too early.
I agree, and to rebound on that, I think it's better for the league too because one of the biggest criticisms has been that players aren't mature enough. That you're getting a lot of kids that aren't ready for the league, and because of the NIL, now you have kids that are willing to stay in college and not rush their development, and then come out after they're already developed. Is it affecting the NFL? Yes, but I think in a positive way. I think you'll get more pro-ready players out of it this way than you would before. Because before, even if a player wasn't ready, they were going to the league, not with the thought of, we're going to make it work for a while, with the thought of, I need that one big check, and I'll try to make it work.
Yeah.
So it's weighing that over, well, I can come back here, make more money, and keep developing that way. Whenever I go to the league next year, I give myself the best chance to succeed. And then the NFL looks at it as everybody's a quarterback away in their mind. So you get a more pro-ready guy.
I also think it incentivizes teams to not just be ass because they think this XYZ is coming out in the draft.
Yes.
Like, because now players are a lot more able to look at a team like Oakland. I'm sorry, like Vegas, and be like, yeah, I'm not fucking going there. Like, I'll just come back and play another year of college ball because I'll get $6 million.
Yep.
Like, that's my thing is like your better quarterbacks have more incentive to stay and not go to an absolute shit show of an organization to ruin their career.
Yeah.
So the only flip of that is you have to be a first round talent, because that's, if you're not a top 15 pick, the money really there. I don't think the money really changes it, because like, is Dante Moore right now a top 15 draft pick if he left?
Yeah. I think he is.
Yeah.
He stood to make more money going back to Oregon.
He would have been number 2 quarterback off the board.
But he was going to be the number 2 quarterback off the board.
I can't hear y'all. Hold on. My shit.
Oh yeah. That's likely.
Now you want to hear facts?
Yeah. You want to hear
No, I'm back now.
Truth?
I'm back now.
Huh? No, Dante Moore was going to be the second pick. And next year, guess what? He's going to be the number 2 pick. As Jets fans have already made it known, if you ain't with us when we're 3-14, then you don't come back to us when we're 3-14 picking number 2 next year. So that's just what it is. I think no.
Okay, maybe not Dante Moore, but if you're looking at it as a whole scope, if you're not a top 15 pick, but you're good enough to get NIL money, you stand to make more money coming back than you do going to the league, because rookie deals, like literally Brock Purdy had a fucking roommate. Like obviously he got extended, but he was one of the last picks of the draft. I'm saying from the sense of like you're you're narrowing the view of it because you have to be in that range to where it means more for you to come out versus staying because Nico Iamaleava is a perfect example.
It's
Well, so
it's
is, I
not
mean, that's why I
no,
brought up.
it's
That's why I
not
brought
though
up John
because
Mateer.
it's not though because they're now pushing him as one of the top prospects in 2027 outside of Arch.
Yeah,
So it's
which to me
it
that's where it affects it. You have to be in that range, and then but guys are standing to make more money. Dante Moore is a sought after. He was a sought after quarterback, right? Trinidad Chambliss is coming back. Was Trinidad Chambliss? And I'm playing devil's advocate. If Trinidad Chambliss comes out in the draft this year,
yeah
is he a top 15 pick?
no
Cam Coleman would have been, I feel like,
yeah
but he returned
I think
because
Trinidad Chambliss he'll probably be a second. He may go late first round, but I don't think he's top 15. I think the only other quarterback that teams may gas themselves into is probably Ty Simpson. And he may
Yeah,
not go until the end of the first round either. But
yeah,
for
but
for
he's
Dante
not.
for Dante
He's
though, it's a why rush out? If you truly don't think that you're ready for it, why rush out? Why
yeah.
go? Especially even if you're not making more money, which you are, you're eventually gonna have to make the jump anyways. There's no avoiding taking that pay cut regardless. Why rush out and not be in the best situation to stay in the league? You know you're gonna get to the league regardless at that point. Why not give yourself a chance to prolong your NFL career by continuing to develop and not rush?
Yeah, I think it's the same thing of like Cameron brought up a good point. Why the fuck would I want to go to Vegas? Because I know I'm gonna have to go there. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna make a
Well,
little more of a bag. But I don't think necessarily I think it's a double edged sword. I think some people, yeah, they want to stay and develop. I also think that other people are like, I don't want to go to this team. I can make more money now. If I'm a later pick, then I could just, when I go to the league, I could stand and develop better, and then whenever I come into the league, I'll be more polished. I think there's two sides of it.
yeah,
I think
that
I agree with things that you guys are saying, but I also think that from a standpoint, I don't think it's necessarily ruining it. I think it's definitely affecting it.
yes, I do think it gives it for instance Dante Moore. Dante Moore was going to be the second quarterback taken. He was probably going to go to Vegas, and if he goes to Vegas or if he goes to the Jets, he feel like himself as a player right now is ready to take that on? No, he's not. So going back to the draft or going back to college, still making a bunch of money to continue developing, maybe he's ready next year. But there's no way to avoid him because you know at some point you're going to run out of eligibility and you're going to have to enter the draft. And when you do,
Yeah,
guess who's going to be sitting there waiting for you, baby?
But my thing is
Vegas
like with
and the
with that
Jets.
with the NIL, yes, those shit teams may still be there, but now you just earned yourself an extra year of pay, as opposed to if you came out after your junior year, you're going to get paid for your what 5 year rookie deal. Well, now you're going to get your rookie deal, and you just earned 6 million on your senior year of college.
Yeah. And that's if you get
So
drafted in the first round to get that fifth
yeah,
year option. If you're not
yeah,
drafted in the
Yeah,
first round, you don't even get it. So you have to be
that's
extended.
yeah,
that's my
yeah,
only thing is like, okay, well, it's just another year of pay, and even let's say like Dante Moore, let's say something catastrophic happens, he has a tears his ACL, he's still going to get drafted.
Yes.
People watch him play at Oregon and know he can throw the fucking football.
Yep. It may drop his
So
stock a bit compared to
yeah,
where it is now. Maybe he's not the number two pick, but it is what it
yeah.
is. The scare. I mean,
So
it's
are you
definitely
looking
taking a
at
risk though.
this? Mhm. Are you looking at this more from a quarterback standpoint, or are you looking at this more as just an
Player,
overall scope?
player,
Because I know that Jeremiah Smith and Ryan Williams probably ain't staying for their fourth year.
Yeah.
um, I agree that I think after next year they're both gone.
Yeah,
Well, Ryan Williams we'll see because he just shit the absolute bed this year. But there's always going to be players that don't want to. I don't think Adrian Peterson wanted to be at OU. And he could have left easily, but I think he was capable of being in the league. I don't think that was a guy that was going to be hindered by being in the league, as opposed to, say, Isaiah Sategna.
Hmm.
I think him coming back is good for him for one reason, because he's going to come back to a more stable offense. He'll be able to produce more in the offense in year two and hopefully make noise and win, which will improve his draft stock to make him more money. I think you can
Hmm.
also look at it from other like D tackle spots. If I come back, am I able to improve my draft stock? I think that is the biggest, because if you're not, maybe you come back to make more, or no, you're still going to make more money, because a lot of these guys that are going to the D tackles, or they're no name guys, a guard or a center or some shit like that, you're not going back because you're not going to make as much NIL as you will in the NFL.
Yeah.
So it's like position based.
Position
Yeah.
based on your draft stock, you have to be in this area.
Yes. And if you are in that area, take it. Or if your goal and dream is to go to the NFL and you don't want to be in college, then do it. It is what it is. It has shifted it. I like it. But Jason Witten and OU at OU, what y'all think?
I'm gonna give you all my thoughts, and then I got to run. I love the hire. I think it brings immediate notoriety to the university because, I mean, even youngins now know who Jason Witten is, who he was, um, and I think he played the game from a technical standpoint rather than an athletic standpoint. And I think that only bodes well. He was a great blocker, he was great in schemes, and he was a great receiver. And I think he can teach and coach all of that. So I'm excited for what he can do. The only thing I don't know about is his ability to recruit. If he can recruit and then he can develop, great. But I know he can teach the game because of the way he played. He played from a fundamental and a technique standpoint. And I think that can be taught if that's how you played the game.
Facts.
Athletics is just God given. So
Facts.
like
Yeah.
I would feel a lot more comfortable with him as a coach than I would, let's say, Kyle Pitts. Because Kyle Pitts has God given talent and ability. But I don't really feel like Kyle Pitts plays with like from an athletic or from a technical
Like
standpoint.
an
He plays with his
understanding of
athlete.
it. Yeah.
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 So
I
I
agree.
like it for OU for that regard. I just want to see if he can recruit.
Yeah.
So
Nagy will probably
that's what
do
I
the
got.
recruiting. All right, peace.
Yeah. I got to
Uh,
run. See you
yeah.
guys.
Nagy will probably do majority of the recruiting, and yeah, um, he probably doesn't have to worry about it. I like the hire. I think it's a solid hire. We'll see if he has any for Witten, if he has any desire to be a coach at the next level or anything. This is a
Yeah.
great opportunity for him. For Oklahoma, it's a great opportunity.
Perfect place to start.
Yep,
Yeah.
it's a perfect opportunity to replace a long-standing tight end who was an alumni there with someone else who has a little bit more star power and is able to be a destination for young tight ends. And so you catch him on
Yeah.
his upward trend, hopefully, and you're able to capitalize on it. It's a great hire.
Yeah. What does it look, I mean, because we're gonna know pretty quick um his player development as far as like the difference of the tight end grouping last year for OU and this upcoming year, because you hired him early. So you got all spring, all summer going into the season. Um, I think it's a good hire, big name. If it looks good for him going forward, I think we're talking about a guy that can, like you said, like really make a name for himself on top of the name that he already has, and really try to extend his coaching career. One of the things that I wanted to bring up just real quick was Oklahoma State robbing any player worth a damn in North Texas and getting them up in Stillwater because they popped off in the transfer portal. They got
Yeah,
like three or four
they're
dudes from
trying to
there.
replicate they're trying to replicate Kurt Sinetti's success in Indiana, and I
Yeah,
think they have a real chance to maybe not the
at
first
least
year.
win some games.
Well, they're definitely going to win more games, but I think this first year it's going to be fun to see them. And this is not even as a fan of OSU, but to see them actually. You're in the Big 12 now, and the Big 12 isn't what it used to be. It's not that powerhouse. At
Yeah.
times and points, you were able to compete with the OUs and the Texases in the Big 12. You just weren't able to
Hmm.
sustain that consistency to
Exactly.
continued. It's not that anymore. And are you
Hmm.
able to modernize a bit and keep some of those same cultural balances that you want at Oklahoma State? which is going to be some tempo, which is going to be some fast paced offense where you can get the
Yeah.
student section back engaged, hitting the wall,
Yeah.
making a crazy environment so that those teams don't want to come into Stillwater. Can you do that with this group of kids that have transferred, especially those kids from North Texas? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because North Texas was they
It's
were making
about
some
that.
noise last year.
It's about that. Shout out to Caleb Hawkins. KG's oldest played football with them at NRC last year in Shawnee.
Oh,
So Caleb
okay.
Hawkins from North Texas is from there. So like you know people that know him, and he broke the freshman record for touchdowns in the nation. And he that
Yep.
I mean, and what is Oklahoma State primarily known for over the history of it? Yeah, you can say wide receivers as of late, kind of with Dez and
But
guys like that, but
RBs
running
is
backs,
what they are
that is their
known
thing.
for.
That is their thing.
That is their thing. They've gotten a lot of backs in the league currently, and over the course of history, they arguably have two top 10 running backs in NFL history that came out of Stillwater. I say Thurman Thomas, arguably. But I'm excited to see if they can actually, for one, win more than one game. Like you said, get a little more excited. I think the immediately after Mike Gundy got fired, they waited until the offseason. They were like, "Yo, we got to pop off. Like now, we got to change a lot of stuff," which is good for them. I think boosters being engaged a little bit more. I think the prospect of offering NIL money to kids is there. These past I think Mike Gundy's pride got in the way, and he also was like, "I'm the only motherfucker that's gonna be making some money here, not y'all."
I
I was
agree.
just,
I mean, I agree. I agree 100%. Well, kind of. I just think it was ego. He didn't want to change with the times. Some coaches don't. Belichick did
yeah,
it. Tomlin didn't. We've seen it. It's just time to build the next era of OSU football.
mm-hmm.
And I'm kind of excited. I maybe it's just me as a personality. I like watching teams build more than
Yes,
consistently doing the same thing, and the same thing isn't good enough. Even if it
yes,
doesn't work, I like swinging. I'm the kind of like this is how I have because I want to clip this and put it on my TikTok. But this is a message to all Steelers fans is like the type of fan that I am is I want my team to go down swinging. I don't want my team to go down looking because if you go down
mm-hmm.
looking, you're going down hoping that the pitcher just doesn't put the ball over the plate. You go down
Mm-hmm.
swinging, you at least give yourself a chance. So
Mm-hmm.
obviously you have to do it at the right time, everything else,
Yep.
but I want you to be aggressive. I don't want to be I don't want to go down looking because you're not even giving yourself a chance. Just give yourself a chance. If you strike out, guess what? What the best advice you can ever get in anything when it comes to sports is get back on the horse. Get up.
Yep.
It's not how many times you get knocked down. It's how many times you get knocked down before you don't get back up. Keep
Mm-hmm.
getting up. Rocky taught
Yep.
us that. Come on.
I'm interested to see if there's an actual opportunity for the rivalry to be renewed.
Which rivalry?
Bedlam.
In the future, probably, but it's gonna be two to
Yeah.
3 years. It'll be 2 or 3
Yeah.
years.
I think that's the biggest thing. No matter what happens in the state of Oklahoma, there's one thing that's always consistent, and that was Bedlam. And Mike Gundy took that away from us. So let's see if they can do it. And no matter what, both teams are going to compete because it's not the teams of yesteryear of Oklahoma State, minus these past 2 years. They were competing with them at time. They were winning Bedlam games. So yeah, the record doesn't show it, but at least it gave the state something to at least be excited about. Versus like, oh, you not playing OSU in football? It's like there's just the Red River rivalry, and then that's it as far as football in the state.
I
I'm
feel
excited.
that. All right. Well, we've been going for a while. Tell the listeners what you want to leave them with for the week.
Ladies and gentlemen, the UFC will be back next Saturday. You will be hearing from me
Yeah,
Sunday morning
we talking about it.
about how that goes. Let's just get excited. No more pay per view structure.
Yeah, facts.
Um,
Paddy the baddie.
um, really, really hyped up for that. we got conference championship week, which is gonna be huge. So I mean, it's a good time to be a sports fan.
National
Just keep
championship
listening.
tomorrow. National
National
championship game
championship.
tomorrow. We'll
Weird
break
that
down.
Miami's back in it.
Yeah, we'll talk about the game next week. Also, happy Martin Luther King Day.
Yes.
Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Everybody go out, get outside, remember the GOAT. And
I should be off work tomorrow, but I'm fucking going in. But that's a different conversation.
it's a different conversation. But we out. Peace.